Good morning and welcome to the Morning Connection. We are so happy to be here with you this morning. Pastor Percival and myself coming to you live from the Best 100 FM studios in Kingston, Jamaica. Good morning and a very special thank you to those who have taken the time. You've come out of the weekend. You could be doing anything this morning, including sleeping late, which I know some of us would have liked to do. Speaking for myself, that is. But you've made the effort to be here with us, and we thank you for it. Those of you who have already joined us online, God bless you and thank you. We are excited to see another day in the kingdom, and we feel sure that this is the day.
That the Lord has made, we will rejoice
This is the
and be
day.
glad in it.
This is the day in which we are going to live according to purpose. I just left it hanging to see what my pastor would chip in and say.
But it is the day that the Lord has made. Every day is a new day.
That is in fact true, but we're applying our own intentional actions to the rejoicing. You know, you can rejoice and do nothing else, but you can also have a weapon in hand, a tool in hand, and be rejoicing because our work is our worship. And it's all about that this morning because throughout the weekend and the week, past coming down to this morning, we've been seeing a lot of anxiety expressed on the front pages, in conversations, wherever you go. Jamaicans are coming to grips with some very, very harsh realities. And while the realities, some of it's not anything new, some of us have lived long enough to see it happen twice, people are leaving this country. Why do people take flight is the question I want us to consider this morning. There are many reasons for it. At some point, maybe most of us have given consideration to it. But this morning, I want us to delve into it. I know we were talking about the teachers, but it's not just the teachers. The teachers are going, the nurses are going, policemen are going, farm workers go and some not come back. And the advent of technology and the pace at which information can travel these days, we are all aware of the risks that we face when we travel, when we migrate, and still we are leaving. And it's nothing new for Jamaica. There's always a season for it. But we want to delve into it this morning because there are some, I'm not going to say unique features, but there are some interesting features that we have to look at. From our perspective, Percival, I am thinking about the lack of trust that is at a high level in the society. Why it is that people would rather go take their chances with strangers than hang around and get beaten up here in Jamaica, where we have the expectation that we will get love and justice.
Even as we begin this week, somebody sent me something, and I'm reading it for our listeners. Good morning to those of us who are listening to us on the Morning Connection. It's so good that you could join us this morning. If you're driving in your taxi and you have your passengers, or you're driving in your own vehicle, or you're on the bus, or you're joining us on the World Wide Web through our Facebook page, we welcome you here this morning. Person said to me, fear has two meanings. Forget everything and run along your theme. Or face everything and rise. The choice really is yours. And he took that out of Psalm 16 and verse 8. Fear, forget everything and, as we would say in my time, dig off. Or face everything and rise. And so yesterday on the front page of the Gleaner, the theme that you are speaking about was flight or fight. Isn't that what it says? Just trying to recall.
I'll check it for you.
What the
Yeah.
Flight and fright.
And fright. It's not a choice.
So a lot of people were doing that. So it's a reality. But again, the encouragement comes to us again from the word of Scripture. Wise. I think one person said there's nothing new under the sun. What we are facing is not anything new, but we will rise up based on kingdom purpose to fulfill destiny. And even as we ponder that, you have to ask yourself the question, why am I here? What am I supposed to do? What is my purpose? Some persons, in reality, their purpose is not in this country. For a lot of us who still yet remain, our purpose we know is right here in Jamaica. And so we will seek to overcome the evil that we see with good. And those were the words of the Apostle Paul when he was speaking to the Romans in Romans 12:21. Be not overcome by evil, but overcome evil with the good that is within us, which is rooted in the love of God. And as we've come up to our 6:30 break, I invite you to ponder that this week as you go about your business, as we are in the throes of going back to school and all of what that has happened. Thank you for joining us this morning on the Morning Connection. Thank you.
A difference you can hear, a difference you can feel.
Best FM, keep listening.
People, are you listening?
If you choose to remain at home after an evacuation order has been issued, you do so at your own risk.
Get down, get down! Heed the warning!
Half a tree, one and drive, half a tree. Bossy, how you do I take taxi start?
Jano, I want to tell you, say, at 2 months now, my transmission mash up, and I check everybody and can't hear nothing positive.
You hear me? You waste all that time I shop around and never call the experts. Winters Auto have them. Them have over 35 years of experience and them diagnose the problem and get back your transmission brand new. For them service excellent and efficient. Trust me, man. You hear me? Call them at 929-7040 or go to them at 106 Maxfield Avenue, Kingston 13 and talk directly to the boss. Just tell them I'm me, send you.
Wow, you big star. Yeah, man, respect my boss.
Yeah, try calling, cause trust me.
Waiters Auto Spares and Repairs, good afternoon.
What a relief.
Veg Printers for all your printing needs. We specialize in calendars, flyers, brochures, and more. Call us today at 968-7506. That's 968-7506. Or visit us at 4 East Bloomsbury Road, off Hagley Park Road. Veg Printers, your best choice in printing.
For a better choice in all your electrical supplies, A, authorized 3M dealer and better brand names. B, better service including free island-wide delivery. C, all major credit and debit cards accepted. It's ABC Electrical Sales. Shop number 8, Hagley Park Plaza, Kingston 10. Open Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., Saturday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. We make your electrical jobs as easy as ABC. Call 754-3825-8 or fax 754-3659. ABC Electrical Sales, for a better choice.
Best 100 FM is the authentic voice of Jamaica, promoting your prosperity with better vibes and better music. Let us promote your goods and services for you. Advertise with us. For more information, call our office at 876-276-8935. That's 276-8935.
The Morning Connection is not your usual talk show. We aim to stimulate discussion and chart new paths to self-empowerment. So please join us, Minette and Percy, on The Morning Connection, Mondays to Thursdays, 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. on Best 100 FM.
It's good, it's better, but nothing beats.
Good morning and welcome back. So we have heavy matters on our mind. And Pastor just asked me, did I ever consider migrating? And then he asked me what stopped me. So we've been having a little chatter on the side, and I'm inviting you into the same conversation. I think every Black Jamaican at one point or another considers it. Considering it is, of course, very different from deciding to do it or even desiring it. I first considered it to be true, if I recollect clearly. I first considered it when I lived abroad for like studying.
Okay, when you're in Barbados.
Then you would consider, would I live away from Jamaica? My answer to that has always been no. That's not something that I desire to live away from Jamaica. I feel a connection to my country. And I always remember after Hurricane Gilbert, I was stuck overseas and was only receiving reports and seeing the odd picture or two. And when I came home and saw the devastation on the Warwick hillside, stripped bare, I can tell you, I'm not ashamed to say it, I cried.
She never cried here. She bawled.
No, I didn't bawl. I cried.
You bawled.
Tears were just running down my face. Driving through, coming up, seeing it, knowing what it means, not just to the environment, but to the people who live there. I cried. I cried for the land as much as I cried for the people. Land arouses emotions, To most people, it's greed or how can I take this or kill the fish or where can I hide this or...
my Lord.
But land arouses powerful emotions of the heart.
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
The difference between bawling and crying is what? Bawling is when
noise.
You open your mouth and
noise,
holler.
yes, noise.
Okay, so
noise.
So you were.
I'm not a baller.
you were silently shedding tears.
Tears just run out of your eyes because from the and then another occasion when Jamaica made me cry. I was on assignment abroad and I didn't get to come home for about a year.
Are you serious?
And I came home for a conference and I was staying at a resort because the conference was held out of office. I didn't even get to like go to my own part of St. Anne. It was at a hotel in St. Anne
resort.
And
never get to go
and
to
I remember
Mount Moriah.
In the night I went out and I took a walk on the beach and, put my foot in the sea and sat on the sand and I started to cry.
Oh, no.
I just miss Jamaica.
Oh.
I really did. I really did. I mean...
You want to make me cry this morning. Just imagine you crying.
Me one out on the beach, walking and feeling the warmth of the Caribbean Sea and just recognizing that there's something awfully special about this place.
About the artist,
yeah,
call it. Something special about it.
And I cried. Other occasions, living abroad and watching the things going on in the society and seeing what could be done, talking to people, hearing the passion with which they address the things going on in their country, and then recognizing that I'm an outsider here. No matter how right my position might be and no matter how well-intentioned I am, and the conversation would just go on around me and I have no stake in it.
Because them see another day.
And worse yet, I was in a country where the word belong was an official word. You're a belonger or a non-belonger.
Yes.
And I was a non-belonger.
At that point in time?
Well, that never changed. I was always a non-belonger. It really didn't matter what contribution I might be making to the society or whatever. They had a code, they had a covenant, which was binding on belongers. And non-belongers were outsiders. So I thought, wow.
You serious?
I could not spend...
Even in Jamaica?
Not in Jamaica. I said I was living in another country.
Okay, now I understand.
Where there was a law that they called belonger.
Are you serious?
Of course. That it is so. We talk about covenant, Remember now, Percival, when we talk about the Constitution as a covenant binding on the citizens.
Yes.
Everybody have their covenant.
Yeah.
And covenants are exclusive to those who are parties to it. That's why even when we speak about kingdom, if you are not under the covenant, you lack coverage. And that's why the other day when we could say JPS have paper for them covenant rise to a whole other level, when they call on that covenant, man better respond. we know with our covenant that's supposed to be the supreme one, the one that stands above all else. What is it giving us? And that's why I want to ask the question, why do people take flight? You're under covenant. Covenant guarantee you some rights in relation to your quality of life, your environment, opportunities, education, healthcare,
types of
security,
relationships that you have, yeah.
Accountable relationship with those who are overseeing your affairs. Why do we need to run? And why have we always had to run? And when you look at the profile of those who are leaving, some disturbing realities are coming forth. I was very interested in the perspective of the former PIOJ head, who has written a very long and interesting article. It was published in the weekend paper, Professor Gladstone Hutchinson, who he lives in the diaspora.
Mm-hmm. And you came home.
Came home for a season to do a body of work and has gone back to the diaspora.
Mm-hmm.
But he took the time to send us his thoughts on a number of matters. And they're very interesting because he stands with a foot in each place, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
Knows Jamaica well, had worked in Jamaica. And we're now looking at a kind of opportunistic migration, not one driven by the urge to survive, because we see it. We in Jamaica look and see refugee camps being established all over the place because civil war and tribal wars and international wars,
and so on.
right, are driving people away from their home. But what's happening in Jamaica is taking on some characteristics and
like we're that country at war.
Very disturbing. And we're at war with ourselves. We are driving our people away from the land.
Mm-hmm.
When they're here, we frustrate them and we starve them out to the point where they pack their bags, put themselves at enormous risk and danger just to get away from us.
Mm-hmm. Because we have broken covenant.
We have broken covenant
with ourselves. Okay. That's interesting that you said that based on the different things that you have simply highlighted. I believe under the covenant that we should operate, there are three things that should be priority for the persons who are to deliver on the covenant. One is security and justice, education, everything else. Good, because if you feel secure and you feel there is a justice system that works for you and you believe that you are afforded the best educational opportunities, then you say, okay, that's good enough for me. We just want an environment that allows us to flourish as a people. And I think one of the main reasons why a lot of people are saying, I'll go and take me lick somewhere else. At least in that environment, I feel a bit more secure.
I'll be fed.
Yes.
When you listen to Mr. Speed,
mm-hmm.
Mr. Speed served as president of
JTA two terms back, yeah, because he was the gentleman before Smith. Yeah.
After 30 years in the sector, migrate with the whole family.
And gone.
I mean, the opportunities that are there to educate your children, to get housing, now, the truth of the matter is, perhaps that is the reparation package that the government of Jamaica have their eye on for Jamaicans. There's talk about what England should pay us, but maybe really, just like how there was that idea floated that the money from scamming is reparations.
Somebody
by fair means or foul, white people owe us money, we will take it out of them.
Wow.
And scamming, that idea was fair. But, these things sound absurd. But the truth of the matter is, when you feel that a man owe you,
mm-hmm.
there is no limit to what you may do if you're not centered in a certain place of righteousness. You may think that it's okay to trick it out of him.
Mm-hmm.
We've begun to speak of and look at remittances as a revenue stream for the country. That's no different from the man who's standing at the sidewalk with his hand outstretched, and his income is what the alms, the change that people throw in his cup or in his hand. That's really is no different, you know. When you can be saying, okay, on my budget, I have a place for remittances. It's one thing to calculate it because it is a fact and it's there, but it's almost like that is our greatest foreign exchange earner. And that's no different from slavery, because you know what it is? People have to pull up stocks and go to a foreign country, earn, work money, carry 3 jobs, 2 jobs, whatever it is they need to do, so they can be sending back money to Jamaica. And Jamaica is counting on it. It's no different too, Pastor, from when they're doing budget debate and you hear them projecting how much money they're going to collect from lawbreakers. We're going to get this from traffic. Okay. We're going to get this from the seizure of proceeds of crime. To me, it's no different when you begin to calculate, in your budget what you're going to get from basically breaking of the law, breaking of the covenant, because it's not an easy decision to migrate. Whomever is out there calling them cowards or looking at it from, you know, some patriotic, nationalistic perspective, it's not an easy decision to migrate.
Most people.
You live your life in self-imposed exile. You're constantly dreaming of home, and you're telling yourself that this is a sacrifice you're making so you can have a better life and make it something better for the people you have left behind. It is a sacrifice to be away from home.
It really is, you know. And as you talk about that, just Sunday we were having a conversation. One of my deacons were talking, and he was saying to me that this gentleman had lived in exile, as you call it. And he says, I'm coming back home. So he comes back home, buys a townhouse, and is moving about. And in 1 month, him said, no, man.
Can't stay.
Gone back. The house. Can't stay.
Because that's the other thing I was going to say to you. And what happens when they come home after they've spent years putting remittance money into the economy? When they come home, people steal from them. The police is unresponsive. Government not care about the environment. They have no peace of mind. They can't stay.
They don't, because it's a reality. You know, if you go to places like my beautiful wife is from Manchester, and you drive train cities, wonderful homes, big homes that people have slaved in the snow, work 2-3 jobs, and they come home because this was their dream home. And a lot of them going where they've become captive. They've become they've been held captive in their homes because they are so afraid of what is out there, and people think that because them supposed to have money, we can take advantage. They are preyed upon.
Yep.
Yeah, and it's unfortunate. Just before I press on today, I just want to acknowledge. Yes, I want to.
You have to sing, Percy.
I have to acknowledge my youngest. Today he's celebrating his 16th birthday. That's John T. Benjamin. Happy birthday to you, my son. You are such a wonderful gentleman. You are part of Generation Z. And I've learned so much from him, but we celebrate you today as a family, and we thank God for you. And then, in a bittersweet way, today I also remember that on my son's birthday, he was about 5, my dad passed over 11 years ago. And guess what his name was? He was Percival Palmer.
Benjamin?
He was Percival Palmer. Oh, Lord, have mercy. You asked me.
So Percival Palmer died.
Yes.
11 years ago.
Yes.
Long live Percival Palmer.
Long live Percival Palmer today. Yes.
The king is dead. Long live the king.
Yeah, but he's so special. Yeah.
Happy birthday, John T. I was trying to get your dad to do a bit of singing, but maybe when you're 20.
You know what he would say to me, Daddy? Don't leave it. Don't try. Leave it alone. Allow for mommy or or even me or my sister to sing, but that is not your
So
kid.
this is what 16th birthday.
His 16th birthday.
Sweet 16. How do
No,
boys
handsome
celebrate?
16.
How do boys celebrate?
Well, he
16th year?
said in regards to that what he wanted, and I says okay, just wanted family, and there's a crew that he moves with, so those people can come, and the family members at that crew can come, but it's close. Him said, no, I just want to keep it simple. But you know what he did? For every single one of us, he sent us a list and said, this is what I want for my birthday. So nobody escaped it.
Oh, so he had his list.
He had his list all thing, and we said, okay. Yeah, but back to what we were talking about, he has broached that issue with me.
Who, Jonte?
Yeah.
About migration.
Migration.
Did you ever think of migrating?
I've thought about it.
So how you explain to your kids why you stay?
I pointed out to them, I believe that in purpose, this is where I'm supposed to be, because we would have had the opportunity, because remember, Mish is a nurse, so that is one of the things that people recruit, and we've thought of that happening. And my mother's side of the family, except for her and 2 other siblings, she came from a family of 14. Everybody else is overseas. And she had the opportunity. Remember I shared that with you? That early 70s, she had the opportunity to migrate. And she said, let me pick them. Make nobody else grow them. And I am so very grateful for what that did for us in terms of us. So again, today, I just celebrate her. And interestingly, for her, an interesting phenomenon happened. Jonte is her youngest grandchild. And he went from the hospital straight to her home, because that's where Michelle was for the first couple of months. And so she really considers him as her own, and she reminds him all the time in regards to it. So we just celebrate him today. Yeah, so, but the question of migration really, I think from where I'm sitting, is one that a lot of us have considered, and some of us have stayed because we recognize the whole thing of purpose and destiny. It is here. But for my children, I don't dissuade them when they look at the opportunities and they wait. I'm saying, if that's what you want to do, that's all right with you. And they're very patriotic young Jamaicans. But some of the time when they consider all of what's happening, they say, you know what? Probably go for a time, explore other avenues, other opportunities, and probably return, or probably don't return at all. So that's what it is.
The question, why do people leave, is as important as why do people stay. And just hearing you reflect on your mom's decision to stay, she stayed for family, really. She did not want to leave her children to grow without her immediate supervision. And it's one of the reasons that's now is responding to the covenant that keeps a family together. Many persons chose otherwise because maybe there are some advantages your mom had, which others don't have, a steady job in a field that may be allowed for growth and for the kind of income that would make it easier for her to stay than to go, because everybody's weighing the options. And you don't just get up and go. Some have to get up and go because their house burned down and gunmen are threatening them. And I spoke to a young man, not so young man, recently, and he fled the country because
his family was threatened.
His family was threatened. He was threatened, and his continued presence in the house constituted a threat to his family, and he fled. And we've seen those stories. And listen.
Remember, the gentleman was on witness protection.
Right. Here's one thing that I will not do. Our Minister Carl Samuda was reported as dismissing complaints by farm workers that they are working under unsuitable conditions and abusive conditions. And I will not discredit a man's story about his experience.
But even our regular caller, Cruz, remember his story?
Yeah, from back in the day.
Yeah, and he
yes,
tell us some of his thing, and he said, "No, man,
there's racism, there's abuse,
yeah,
and it's real." I was disturbed to see
I saw it with some other,
the account of the minister's response to complaint by persons, farm workers. The farm workers had apparently banded together and done a complaint. They did a sort of an anonymous letter which they sent to various persons in authority speaking about what was going on. We know that farm work is really slavery.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I guess it would be like the apprenticeship. Well, you get a stipend and it is saved up for you when you come back. And what makes it attractive is that the cost of their labor in Jamaica is so low and so uncertain that they can go into these places where the natives of those countries don't want the job. They're looking for cheap labor. The reason why farm work programs have value is because we offer our men and women as cheap labor. No matter how you want to look at it, that's what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Farm work is to work on farm, to do menial work on farms.
But the persons of local would not do it.
Yeah. Oftentimes under conditions, weather conditions also, that are hostile to us.
Mm-hmm.
But we do it because a lot of the persons who go for it are minimally educated, don't have a lot of options in their communities. They like to go into the countryside where people still have pit toilet and don't have running water with any consistency, if at all, and are using wood fire and barely have electricity and struggle from day to day. So if you go to a place where there's a washing machine and a microwave oven and a stove inside and a solid roof over your head, it is a huge step up.
Yeah, but that has changed in recent times because a lot of the people I know, because some people have approached me and said, "Pastor, you can't get a link for me if you get a farm work ticket." And this is
but it changed because people went on farm work and started to improve the infrastructure in their communities.
But that's what I'm saying to you. That's how it was previously, but now it has changed. People still see it as an opportunity because when they say, if I work here...
But it is an opportunity, Percy.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Oh, okay. I'm not denying that it's an opportunity. And I can't... The reason I'm pressing you a little bit on it is that to say it has changed is like saying slavery...
No, hold on, no.
Slavery gone, so we don't need to talk about the price of it.
No. I think you misread what I was trying to say.
Say it good for me, please.
I am saying it has changed in terms of the previous years. It has changed, but in terms of the rates that they are paid, it is still menial, which is why when you look at what is happening under the southern border in the U.S., they want the people to come in. Because you know why they want them to come in? Because those people come in and take the jobs that people don't want. So even the big, the powers that be, the big corps, they want them to come because it's cheap labor. And the Americans not going to give their labor for those, so they want those people to come in. So I guess it's a similar thing when you really think about it.
Yeah, and the changes that you've seen in the, like, go down to my neck of the wood now. I'm going to show you. I did a video because there was a funeral. One of my cousins was being buried on Sunday or Saturday.
More likely Saturday.
Yeah, and I went down, and that's the countryside I grew up in, and it is just so beautiful, heartbreakingly beautiful, to see the rolling hillsides and the one or two houses that break the environment, but everything is built in against the terrain, so it looks very natural and flowing, and I stopped and made a small video because I just wanted to capture it and the beauty of the sky, because there's no pollution down there, there's no grayness. Anyway, beautiful countryside, way up in the hills, only no reach up there so yet. But the houses that have been built, that is farm work country. That's why I can tell you, about the expectation and the heart of the man who sets out to go on farm work. And they all come back. Those are not people who are going to run off.
Yeah,
they
some
come
of the
back.
man in the city who come, man, that is my link. They say, no, man, those who go and come back is to improve themselves.
They come back and they've built beautiful houses, big houses up there in the countryside. But it's a price because hear what happened. In a way, it's a dying community because the young people gone. Wild man go farm work and the mother can't. I tell you. There's no growth, no future for those communities because the parents were too busy making life. It came at a price, and the generation of kids, their kids now end up, they drift off to Ocherius and Mobe, and they get into every kind of trade that is suited for somebody who hasn't really got a good education.
Which is another bane of why the covenant has been broken.
And then they have their children, and the children come back up to the countryside, and it's a cycle.
That needs to be broken.
We got the break signal. Really? Already? Don't we have like 2 more minutes? When we come back, we're going to look at what the minister, who should have done a way better job than... The headline says, Samuda dismisses farm workers' claims of mistreatment. It is all part and parcel of why people leave. Nobody to stand for you. In Jamaica, there's nobody to stand for you.
Hello. As we come
Let's
back,
take the break.
let me come back. Yeah.
A difference you can hear. A difference you can feel.
Best FM, keep listening.
We continue our look on the Transitional Living Program of the Child Protection and Family Services Agency, CPFSA. The program seeks to ensure that wards of the state who have attained 18 years are enrolled in an educational institution and are supported by the state as they become adults. The CPFSA says the aim is to facilitate as seamless a transition as possible for the youngsters who are moving from depending on the state to fending for themselves. Director of Children and Family Programs at the CPFSA, Warren Thompson, says the agency supports the tuition and educational needs of the students.
We cover their tuition. So whatever the program is, we cover the tuition through the Ministry of Education, pay boarding where they live on campus. If they need books, some of them need various kinds of educational supplies, like we have a youngster doing animation at UTech. I needed a special kind of laptop. We had to try to source it. We are supporting his education.
Mr. Thompson says in addition to providing the educational requirements of the students, they receive a stipend to provide some amount of subsistence. He notes that there are several partners that provide part-time job opportunities for the youngsters to top up the funds provided by the state.
And that stipend is to help them with groceries, pay transportation. We also encourage them to try to find a part-time job. So we help them sometimes too. In the past, we had an arrangement with a call center that some of the youngsters were actually employed by the call center and they did the hours around their schooling. We have an agreement now with the Massey Group. We actually have a number of youngsters in our program who were employed as merchandisers and as promoters and so on of the Massey products in supermarkets and that kind of thing.
The CPFSA says when wards turn 18, there's always an attempt to reignite them with their families. But this is not always possible for various reasons, including the need for relocation for educational pursuits. When there is a need to relocate the youngsters, the state has facilities that are used or alternative arrangements are made where the facility is at capacity.
We have 2 transitional living facilities in Kingston. In those facilities, the youngsters are pretty much on their own. They are supervised by us, making sure that they're taking care of the place. And in the western end of the island, we do have 2 facilities. So those are the main transitional living homes. But in addition to those 4 facilities, we rent. So we actually pay a lot of money in rent. We have a rate that we kind of work with. So we usually try to find somewhere within that range. What has worked out for us is we do find some places where we can put multiple persons. So for example, there's like we rent a house.
Mr. Thompson says the Transitional Living Program seeks to ensure that the wards are fully prepared for what life has to offer despite the challenges that they may have faced early in their young lives. He says they are given lessons in life skills to successfully navigate any obstacles along their journey through adulthood.
deals with relationships, taking care of your own household, cleaning, washing, and that kind of thing. Also looks at readiness for work. So we teach them about professional expectations, mannerisms, attire. And, this is where partnerships really are of great value, because we have partnerships with a number of entities. So like the Lions Clubs, we have partnerships with a couple of Lions Clubs. The Massive Group had a session looking at resume writing and tips for doing job interviews, negotiating your salary. As a parent would provide guidance to their child, we want to prepare them to do well.
Director of Children and Family Programs at the CPFSA, Warren Thompson. There are over 500 persons engaged in the Transitional Living Program, and upon completion, each will receive a transition kit that may include a bed, stove, and a dresser as a start in their new life. The program has produced teachers, doctors, lawyers, and IT specialists, social workers, and several other professionals. To find out how you can partner with the CPFSA in this life-altering program, drop them a line at info@childprotection.gov.jm. On behalf of studio engineer Joel Samuels, I'm Hal Shane Burke. Walk good.
Calling all thrill seekers, it's the Summer Thrills Adventure!
Climb the world-famous Duns River Falls!
Go exploring when you take a hike!
Ride the exhilarating Choctaw Falls Flyer zip line!
Climb, hike, zip for $5,000!
Say what?
Yeah, only $5,000!
Straight!
It's Duns River and Choctaw Zip Line Summer Thrills!
Summer Thrills promotion ends September 15.
It's a 5-star adventure at a 2-star price! Book now at dunsriverfallsja.com.
Conditions apply. Follow UDC's social media for further details.
A production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.
A difference you can hear.
Fast FM keeps listening.
Warning, when there is a hurricane warning, button down, tie down, everything. Lift appliances and furniture off the ground and secure your valuable items. If you wanna boat, secure it on land and turn on your yard. If you a fisherman, make sure you turn off every breaker, and before you sleep, turn off your generator. Flooding, that is a real danger. If you live a gully bank, river bank, or low line area, if you see flood waters are rising, get out, get out. Heed the warning. If your land starts slipping and sliding, get out, get out. Heed the warning. Hurricanes gonna happen, so be prepared.
A message from the Office of Disaster Preparedness and Emergency Management.
For a better choice in all your electrical supplies, A, authorized 3M dealer and better brand names. B, better service including free island-wide delivery. C, all major credit and debit cards accepted. It's ABC Electrical Sales. Shop number 8, Hagley Park Plaza, Kingston 10. Open Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., Saturday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. We make your electrical jobs as easy as ABC. Call 754-3825-8 or fax 754-3659. ABC Electrical Sales, for a better choice.
Vejan Printers for all your printing needs. We specialize in calendars, flyers, brochures, and more. Call us today at 968-7506. That's 968-7506. Or visit us at 4 East Bloomsbury Road, off Hagley Park Road. Vejan Printers, your best choice in printing.
Half a tree, one and drive, half a tree. Bossy, how you do I take taxi start?
Jano, I want to tell you, say, at 2 months now, my transmission mash up, and me check everybody and can't hear nothing positive.
Yeah, hear me? You waste all that time I shop around and never call the experts. Winters Auto have them. Them have over 35 years of experience, and them diagnose the problem and get back your transmission brand new. For them service excellent and efficient. Trust me, man. Yeah, hear me? Call them at 929-7040 or go to them at 106 Maxfield Avenue, Kingston 13 and talk directly to the boss. Just tell them I'm me send you.
Wow, you big star. Yeah, man, respect my boss.
Yeah, try calling, cause trust me.
Waiters Auto Spares and Repairs, good afternoon.
Ah, what a relief.
Hey,
easy. Let not your hearts be troubled. Just believe in God Almighty and daily renew the mind. As we live in this time when fake is more valued than real, lies prefer to truth, the unnatural put above the natural. This is Lady Donna, aka Double D Donna, with a new song, Almighty Jah, encouraging your people to keep the faith. God will make a way. Get your copy today. It's on all digital platforms. Lady Donna Official on Instagram, Facebook, AsujaRecords.com. For bookings, Asuja Record Label at Gmail. Almighty Jah!
Best 100 FM is the authentic voice of Jamaica, promoting your prosperity with better vibes and better music. Let us promote your goods and services for you. Advertise with us. For more information, call our office at 876-276-8935. That's 276-8935.
Looking to clean your vehicle super clean? 123 Clean Car Wash, located at 2 1/4 Osborne Road, Kingston 10. Entrance on Grove Road, below Tropical Battery. They wash and vacuum, undercarriage wash, engine wash, polish and compound, shampoo and detailing. Call them at 876-631-3400. 123 Clean Car Wash, the best in the business for a cleaner wash.
1, 2, 3, believe me, it's so easy. 1, 2, 3.
It's good, it's better, but nothing beats.
Welcome back. All right, so I am looking at the headline because I read, when you're reading something and you think, okay, gotta pinch myself because this is 2022, Jamaica. This is not 1836 Jamaica, or maybe even some remote part of the Midwest, or which part of America is still very racist, the South.
No, I think it is. I think racism is not even in regions anymore, because
the people have traveled and carried their ideas everywhere.
Yeah,
it's no longer localized.
No longer localized.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. Anyway, here is the headline. People, you got to hear this for yourself. It says, Samuda dismisses farm workers' claims of mistreatment. And there's a very truculent-looking Samuda, a picture of him going with it. Labour Minister Carl Samuda has dismissed suggestions that Jamaicans employed through the Seasonal Agricultural Workers Program were exposed to subpar working conditions and mistreatment in Canada. I did not find anything that jumped out at me in terms of ill treatment. Quite the contrary. I found that the relationship between almost 100% of the farmers, the owners of the farm, and of the workers was an excellent, strong, and pleasant relationship. The claims, which were detailed in a letter by the Jamaican farm workers in Canada, sent to the Jamaica Observer and published online on August 15th, outlined grouses of them working long hours, verbal abuse and intimidation. Now understand that there is no tour that the minister could do that would expose those the truth of those complaints. You have to either believe in your people or, as we see here, dismiss them. And it's not unusual for Jamaican politicians to dismiss the people. That's why the people them are run.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So they're working long hours. You're going to have to live there and work with them to see if that is true. You can't get that on a tour. They are, let's get the complaints. They're working long hours. They are subjected to verbal abuse and intimidation. I do not believe anybody would expose that while the minister is touring. You think?
Gonna say, aren't they lovely workers?
Oh, you beautiful man, you're moving too slowly. Could you speed it up a bit? Or are you tired? Would you like a rest? So poor verbal abuse and intimidation. Poor living conditions, including rats eating their food at 2 farms. These are the specific complaints, and the minister is dismissing it and saying what he saw was to the contrary. And wait and say, all right, minister is here now, let me nibble.
Nibble and see it.
They expressed fear of identifying themselves by name as they did not want to be victimized and described the program as systematic slavery. Listen, nobody need to write a letter to say that. We know that's what it is. You're there because you're cheap labor and you will accept things that other people who have governments and political representatives who might actually make a noise on their behalf will not take that work. And in fact, I don't think the employers want people like that, because with Jamaica, you can send home a Jamaican body in a state of gross disrepair and nothing come of it.
Because that's happened recently.
It happened recently. The people can die from COVID or whatever you claim and come home, and the only thing you get in Jamaica is someone expressing an opinion that maybe they will get some kind of coverage. What kind of coverage? We don't really know. We'll have to wait and see. Nobody is fighting for the Jamaicans. But hear what? If they don't fight for you here, where they can look upon you and you can throw stone upon them, are they going to fight for you in Canada?
No, they won't.
The workers say the letter was also sent to the minister on August 11th. In an interview with the Gleaner on Tuesday, Samuda said that despite the claims, he had observed the opposite during a tour of 9 farms in 7 locations across Ontario, Canada earlier this month. So they set up a tour for the minister and he believes what he sees. And here's what he saw. This is like straight out of a movie. I did not find anything that jumped out at me. In fact, he said that the owners had gone beyond the requirements, as in one instance when he toured a farm, the owners had refurbished the facilities for the workers. Can you believe that? But listen to me, why wouldn't you refurbish the facilities if it popped down where you're going to put the next set of slaves? And he thinks that the man fixing up his own place is a blessing for the workers. And while we were talking about it with the workers and the farmers, the owner of the facility got emotional. I found the farmers to be extremely supportive of the farm workers, he said. Samira said that in another instance, the farm owner had allowed the Jamaican workers to set up a bar on the veranda of the facility to serve the workers with foods and drink, which reminded them of home. It's embarrassing.
It probably happened.
Embarrassing.
It probably happened.
That is a show.
Yeah.
Who on earth would fall for that? Who would fall for that? Except a Jamaican of a certain ilk, stripe, and heart, or lack of heart. In relation to housing, he said that in most cases, the facilities were set up to accommodate 2 individuals to cohabit. Now, I don't know if it's the journalist who is talking about cohabit, because I know Jamaican men not going to cohabit with no other man. Well, most of them going on farm work, so I don't know what he's saying there. I have no doubt that there are barracks with larger numbers of people under one roof, he said, but noted that the farms which he visited did not have that kind of layout. I found that the bedding was clean, comfortable, he continued, noting that the facility for eating was a dining hall where the farm owners and his wife also ate with the workers. So they can watch how much food the people eat. I'm feeling very mean about it this morning.
That's what I was about to say, and that is nothing. That's not your spirit. That's not the spirit.
No, but this bring out something in my spirit right now, because what I see is the same lack of care that we give to the people here. We don't even value their complaints. Oh my God! For a minister who would say, "I am going to cause an investigation," send in some kind of undercover worker. It can't be the minister, clearly. But do something. Don't just dismiss it out of hand.
And we must
be so infantile in your observations.
Cavalier. The word is cavalier.
Well, I mean, I know that word.
Yeah. But what I'm saying to you is that it just indicates how they hold us, in terms of how they see us as Jamaicans. Because let me tell you something, for the workers to have put together a letter like that, detailing everything, it took a lot of courage. Because most time they would have said to them, it's only for a time, and I said, we could go and take it. But it really would have brought things to a boil. Like them say, no man, this gone bad. It's really bad.
Let me close off with this, Percy, because I think even you with your enormous fount of patience will see through this one. Nonetheless, Samuda said, He ensured to express to the farm owners that the Jamaican workers would demonstrate a strong work ethic as long as they were treated with respect. That's one of the rules out of slavery, you know. Treat them with a little
respect.
They'll give you.
All of them said.
How can this be said in 2022?
Just how people think.
Samuda needs to be at home with his grandchildren if he has any. He said he made sure to make it clear that the partnership was not to be recognized as a master-servant relationship. But what else is it? What is it? And it's not a partnership, but one in which everyone strived. This obviously is the journalist. Maybe it was his word. Let me see if they're quotations. Everyone strived towards the same objective of cooperation in making the farm a success. All in all, it was a lovely trip. It was an eye-opener for me, well-structured, well-organized, and I wish that in Jamaica we could adopt some of the positives flowing out of that trip, he said. Samuda wants slavery to return to Jamaica. Yes, some of the positives. It's a disgrace, and that's why people are leaving. That is why Jamaicans are leaving. There's nobody to stand up for you. Nobody to stand up for you. Well, who listening, just know you got to stand for yourself. That's why you have 2 feet. And even those who have 1.5 can get a crutch. Because we gotta be able to lean on each other, to walk ourselves out of this mess that we're in. Mr. Samuda has been a member of parliament and minister of government for longer than I've been alive.
Yes, hello?
I love you too. All right, Mr. As for longer than I have had sense, so is that?
Yeah, that's
maybe that was just yesterday.
Yeah, because I think he's one of the
octogenarians
in Parliament.
Yes, and I'm not an octogenarian. I'm sure he entered politics before he was in his 30s.
I know he's one of they refer to them as dinosaurs.
Dinosaur.
This is shameful, and let me tell you, it is not helped by Mr. Samuda's color and ethnicity. It is not helped. We are always saying, and I know the Jamaican government have it on them various places too, do not blame or shame the victim. You cannot dismiss a man's words like that. And talk about when you went on the tour, it was lovely and an eye-opener and well-structured and well-organized. And oh, I wish the Jamaicans would just line up and take it the way. Oh, we can interview a farm worker. Mr. Producer is going to find me a farm worker. But mind you, it has to be one who's retiring because anybody
can't go back.
Anybody who talk the truth is gonna be in trouble. But yes,
I know Santa. I know
our friend will call us. But I mean, it is just you can't have persons make a complaint and as minister you dismiss the complaint. That is just wrong. That's not in keeping with the covenant. I'm telling you, that's why people are leaving. In the Sunday paper now, they went into a lot of details about the first-hand accounts of persons who have left, persons who, because I was some of the details, I mean, we know that the money is better because it's bigger country, bigger budget for things, more mature institutions in many ways, and they're past the point now of treating you like a slave simply because of your color. They are way more sophisticated in how they institutionalize the abuse. So you can actually go there and live and work and for a long time not even be aware that there's any difference between you and someone else. It's not like I live in an island where them have a thing called a belonger and a non-belonger. So regardless of color, if you don't belong, you don't belong, and there's a particular kind of treatment. You can't buy land unless you are partnering with a belonger. Some things that I think Jamaicans would have loved to give a test run, but I suppose we're working our way towards it.
But as you say in the Sunday Gleaner, so there's pictures of Owen Speed.
Yes, man.
He was the JTA president before Winston Smith, who is outgoing, because a new lady has come. And he's at church, there beside the tree, in front of him, brand new sports car.
What? Listen to me, man. That's the best advertisement for migration that I've ever seen. I feel everybody who look at Mr. Speed say, Mr. Speed, I didn't know you went. They're packing their bags as they're reading the paper.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that's a man who contributed.
Yeah, man.
I don't think his decision to migrate negates the value of his contribution for any one of the 30 days that he served in Jamaica.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because
a man like that should be retiring comfortably in Jamaica. He should be one of the elders seated at the gate.
I tried. He was always a
counseling young people, being a role model. Instead, he's had to go to another country to get his kids to complete education for his youngest and to find himself in a position where he can actually put aside something for pension. The other day, I met a teacher. I spoke about it already, but she just came to mind. She is living in a flat at the Methodist Church, one of the places that, cater to seniors. She counts among her students the Prime Minister, the current Prime Minister of Jamaica. She said, he was one of my students. She had taught at Dintil and where else?
St. Catherine High School.
St. Catherine High, and she had taught at Dintil as well. She was crying at what Jamaica had become. I must have mentioned it. She spoke of the treatment that had been accorded to her. A retired woman, she still had on like a little pearl necklace, and she had put together herself as stylishly as age would permit. She was on her own in the rain, picking up money. She had gone to do some money transaction somewhere, and I don't know, even to take a taxi to go back to her residence seemed to be a challenge. That is the fate of the excellent teachers who give their life and reach to a mature age when they should be well looked after, greatly respected and cared for. And Jamaica have nothing for them.
It's interesting, and I don't know if you value education. As a country, there are things that you do to ensure that after teaching for a while, you're better off. But just the input that teachers put into this country in terms of lifting up people, it's not recognized. It's, all right, can't always complain, because you always are going to get it from the people in power should know better. You understand? Who should know better and understand what it means for the country. Because here's this lady outlining, no more struggles and disrespect. That's a headline from the lady who's a literary specialist. Saying what she got before. And she said, with my new job, I'm going to be getting $3,400 monthly with an additional $1,000 per month for after-school lessons. And then if I become a part of teaching homebound students such as pregnant teens, she gets another $120 US.
In other words, meritocracy.
Yeah.
She's paid what she's worth.
Yeah. And she said,
and you might have to put up with one or two things. Life is not perfect, but I suspect that their money can buy them back some dignity. In Jamaica, money can't buy you anything more than food and pay for your light bill.
Yeah, and
no dignity to be on sale in Jamaica, none.
Right. If you look at the Sunday paper, though, most of the advertisements, like 60 to 70%, were looking for teachers. I looked at it for another reason, but I'm saying, go on, teacher for this, teacher for that, and listen to what Speed says. He says, and this is based on his experience, and you can't throw what this gentleman is saying.
Like Mr. Samuda, dismiss it.
Yeah. My figures are telling me that 3,000 to 4,000 have migrated since this year, and I expect this year final count to be tripled next year, because in America, teachers are treated well, so they feel valued. But you know what we could do? I have a link with a lady who worked here as a teacher. She's now living in the States to hear her own uptake on it. Because I think it would help to balance.
Well, let me tell you, if you want to catch up with your friend, that's fine. But do you need any more evidence, Pastor Percy?
No, but just to hear it. Hear what you're thinking,
Do we need... Listen, this is beyond debate. This is just, what do? We who have chosen to stay. What do we do for our children who need to be taught? I know what I'm doing for mine, but other persons may not be as well positioned, because I have never lost sight of the fact that the primary responsibility for educating my child rests with me. It rests with me. If he's not having a good experience at the school where he is, I need to find him a place where he will have that experience. If I don't feel that his mind is developing, and I'll know that from his conversation and how he thinks and his ability to reason and make critical decisions, if that's not happening, my responsibility again. So, but the level of education I have, which allows me to jump in and do what I can do, not everybody has it. And that is where we have to be very careful to make sure that we're not selfishly looking after the needs of our own children and forgetting the needs of the other children who are going to be a part of the society in which we want our kids to prosper. We got the signal to break.
A break time, right? What is happening this morning? The time just running away from us.
We're eating up the time.
I think we're not doing it deliberately, you know.
Yeah, we'll be right back.
A difference you can hear, a difference you can feel.
Best FM 100 on your dial. Keep listening.
We're committed to reducing the impact of disasters occurring in Jamaica. Hurricanes can happen, so be prepared.
For a better choice in all your electrical supplies, A, authorized 3M dealer and better brand names. B, better service including free island-wide delivery. C, all major credit and debit cards accepted. It's ABC Electrical Sales. Shop number 8, Hagley Park Plaza, Kingston 10. Open Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Saturday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. We make your electrical jobs as easy as ABC. Call 754-3825-8 or fax 754-3659. ABC Electrical Sales, for a better choice.
Looking to clean your vehicle super clean? 123 Clean Car Wash, located at 2 1/4 Osborne Road, Kingston 10. Entrance on Grove Road, below Tropical Battery. They wash and vacuum, undercarriage wash, engine wash, polish and compound, shampoo and detailing. Call them at 876-631-3400. 123 Clean Car Wash, the best in the business for a cleaner wash.
1, 2, 3, believe me, it's so easy. 1, 2, 3.
Half a tree, 100, half a tree. Bossy, how you do I take taxi start?
Jano, I want to tell you, say, 2 months now, my transmission mash up, you know, and I check everybody and can't hear nothing positive.
Yeah, hear me? You waste all that time I shop around and never call the experts. Winters Auto have them. Them have over 35 years of experience and them diagnose the problem and get back your transmission brand new. For them service excellent and efficient. Trust me, man. Yeah, hear me? Call them at 929-7040 or go to them at 106 Maxfield Avenue, Kingston 13 and talk directly to the boss. Just tell them I'm me, send you.
Wow, you big star. Yeah, man, respect my boss.
Yeah, try calling, cause trust me.
Waiters Auto Spares and Repairs, good afternoon.
What a relief.
Best 100 FM is the authentic voice of Jamaica, promoting your prosperity with better vibes and better music. Let us promote your goods and services for you. Advertise with us. For more information, call our office at 876-276-8935. That's 276-8935.
The Morning Connection is not your usual talk show. We aim to stimulate discussion and chart new paths to self-empowerment. So please join us, Minette and Percy, on The Morning Connection, Mondays to Thursdays, 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. on Best 100 FM.
It's good. It's better. but nothing beats.
Good morning and welcome back to the Morning Connection. We've been spending some time talking with a little bit of heat occasionally, more from me than from Percy, about the injustice and the absurd response that the complaints by farm workers get from our own minister, who conducted a tour, believed exactly everything that he saw with his eyes, and have just been very dismissive of the complaints by the workers. And as the producer said to me, Jamaica has hit an all-time low when the headline would really be minister saying that the workers have lied. Basically, isn't that what it would mean? If you dismiss the complaint,
make up story, man.
You're saying they've lied. The lazy workers gone up there gonna tell lie upon the good white people. That's really how it comes across, and it is terrible. And in the same paper, there is a report about a farm worker, a 57-year-old man in his prime, or is he a little past his prime?
I'm in my prime.
57-year-old man in his prime died in an accident. Tobacco harvesting equipment caused a fatal injury. Garvin Yap, to his family, we say just be comforted.
Condolences.
I mean, you know, it is, imagine you receive a body comes back. And this is what the permanent secretary in the Ministry of Labor said. She said the nature of Yap's death may merit compensation.
So there's not insurance for them?
You have to ask.
You must, if you as a government, listen.
Say it, Pastor.
If you as a government, you administer the scheme, the basic thing that you can do is to have an insurance scheme for them in case of
injury,
yes, right,
disability,
and pay it out because most companies do that, and they are the people who administer it. But remember too, you know, people forget this, you know, the same farm work program is what caused Jack Smith to go put on
spend
short
time
pants.
in short pants is how people have always described it. Go jail.
Yes,
the only, I guess, what politician, government worker
actually
have done so. And you're right, Pastor Percival, because if Jamaica has negotiated this arrangement and is responsible for this program, Jamaica itself should provide insurance
for their people. It speaks to regard, because anything can happen.
That is the respect, and that is the covenant keeping approach that you would need to take. Instead, this lady is saying, normally in a situation like that, the worker does receive some form of compensation. I can't tell you what it is, the permanent secretary told the Gleaner on Tuesday.
So from that perspective, but further down,
first of all, this lady should know exactly
what it is.
What it is. Now, please understand, you know, that the individual farm workers don't go and negotiate their terms. So the government is like the union.
That's what
you must know what is it that a person gets for dismemberment, for any kind of injury that has a lasting permanency. For death, it should be obvious. It shouldn't be a guess and spell. You must know. You must know what the government of Jamaica is contributing, and you must know what the farm on which the man died is contributing. But you see, as in slavery, there was no health care, there was no insurance, there was no accountability on the part of anyone for what happened to a slave was property. Okay. So we understand why people leave. We leave because there's nobody to stand for us.
Are you saying that if the government, who are keepers of the covenant, enforcers of the covenant, were doing what they were supposed to do, more Jamaicans would stay home?
Yes, I believe so. And those of us who stay because we feel a compulsion to stay should play an active role in bringing the government to this level of accountability and understanding. That's what I'm calling out. All those associations, Advocates Network, PSOJ, PIOJ. No, that's not an association, although it should be.
No, it can't be. You're stretching it. You're stretching it. You're stretching it.
The trade unions, all of the civil society institutions which set themselves up to safeguard the interest of their members and so on. Please, we've got to stand together and take an interest in what is going on, because it's not getting any better. It really is not getting any better. It seemed to be getting worse in terms of the brazenness, the boldness, and the lack of heart that is on display. I feel for the police lady whose story is in today's paper. I know you were looking at it.
Yeah, but and that's why she's saying that the project for persons like her in terms of civil servants with government, NHD.
For those who don't know, say a little bit about who she is. Can I ask you to do that? I think she's a police officer who suffers from a disability and has been reduced to what she called house arrest, because she was living in a police station for 7 years, waiting on a housing development into which she has paid a deposit, and it's a housing development project between NHD and a developer. The name of the developer is irrelevant. NHD is in it. We saw NHD in the news with the $35 million high-end housing that occupied so much of our time, the Ruthven Towers. Yet there's a teeny little development that they are partially responsible for funding to put civil servants, especially police officers, have paid deposits into it. And for 7 years, people have been waiting. But the groundbreaking was in 2018. For 7 years, she's been waiting on proper housing, but the development into which she paid her money, groundbreaking was in 2018, overseen by the Prime Minister himself. And to this day, the lady had to move out of the police station and move in with her 22-year-old daughter. She has every kind of illness that seemed to keep her housebound, and she is frustrated and taking it into the media.
Well, let me say this to you, though. So you know that Ruthven started after that scheme, no?
Oh, it did?
Yeah, I think so, if I'm correct. Because, you see, we don't make connections with a lot of these stuff, you know. And it just speaks to the lack of serious concern for our teachers. And government says NHG policy change to enable increased attention to poor and low-income earning Jamaicans.
Her story is in yesterday's paper, I think. I'm going to find it for you while you do that.
So they're making these things happen. And persons, you see this concept that we've raised, which is Machiavellian.
Virtue. They pursue virtue for the appearance of it only. So it's no substance to it.
So here's the thinking. All right. So you have had Majestic Gardens. There's a picture in the paper today of the Prime Minister delivering these face, because they recently handed over some face in Majestic Gardens. Do you know that those units had started a long time? Because it started, I believe, in Portia's time.
Wow. And a long time that?
That's what they're talking about. That's what they're talking about.
But see what you're talking about now with Ruthven Towers. I don't know how long when they broke ground on that, but I do know that this lady, Miss District Constable Karen Samuels, her complaint is that she has been waiting. She lived in a police station for 7 years. That in and of itself is just mind-blowing. A police officer who fell ill whilst employed, and her condition placed her housing at risk. She had to live in the barracks at a police station.
And she tell you what is there. She has to live where she has lived.
She lived there.
That's where she
lived. Without that, she'd be homeless.
Yeah.
No, she moved out. It's saying that she recently moved into her daughter's to stay with her 22-year-old daughter. But and the other complaint she has is that she paid down over $500,000 deposit on a house in this foreshore estate housing scheme off Spanish Town Road in Kingston, and she's been waiting and waiting and waiting. She tried to get a refund on her money, she not get it back. In the meantime, I know I have seen at least one developer arrested for fraud in relation to refunds and deposits and so on that he was unable to make. I've seen it reported on in this paper. Yet, civil servants, police,
tracking him.
Yeah.
Broke ground, 2018.
Yes, man. Prime Minister Holness broke ground for this development, and even listen. As I was saying to you, we don't need to hear any more stories to know the horror of it and to appreciate that we're in a desperate state and something needs to be done. And it is the responsibility of all Jamaicans to stand up for these issues.
And even so there are so many issues that are highlighted, and we're saying to the powers that be, to the keepers of the covenant, to the enforcers of the covenant, because the government, which includes the people in power and the opposition, they are the keepers of this covenant,
Yep.
So we're making an appeal to the keeper. We have to do better for our people, and what has come clearly to my mind for the last 60 years, whatever you have sought to do, our people, we have not been at the center of it. Because if we were, then a lot of things that have continued over time would have been stopped a long time ago. And then the final thing is, we spoke about this, sixth form pathways program, which few people in the education system understand, approve of, or are ready for. And Mrs. Williams, when she was at the JTA conference last week, said, these are numbers, and she expected to get a rousing yes. And the people said,
she almost got booed.
Yeah, no. And people are running like crazy. It's a wonderful concept in principle. Because what was happening, that our young people were finishing high school at 16, 17, and there was no real place for them to go. So stay longer in high school system, as in most countries, wait until you're 18 and then you can do other things. But no real preparation, no real consultation was done with the educators to say, how are we going to make this work? And now we are having this reality where I guess that says it all.
Wow. I feel like we need to observe a moment of silence for Jamaica. Very troubling what we're seeing. I wanted to share something with you, though, because, we tend not to dwell too much on the problems. We really do have to move to the solutions. The dwelling on the problem, I wouldn't say dwell. Acknowledging the problem
is the
first step.
But then how do we fix the problems?
But we do have to fix the problems. We know the cause, the root cause of these tribulations and trials. We know the root cause. When people abandon the path of righteousness, justice, love, respect,
this is what results.
This is what happens. This is what happens. There's really no mystery to it. This is what happens to us when we cannot keep faith with each other. And when it is happening on a national scale, it always begins with the leaders of the country recognizing the problem and taking responsibility for leading their nations back to a sensible and a safe path. Now, I'm being careful in my choice of language because some people might say, they're trying to bring us to the altar. This is an altar call. You should be
It
lucky
surely
if it's
be.
an altar call,
Yes.
because it sometimes is worthwhile to remember what these things represent. What was the altar? The altar was the place of repentance and exchange.
Yes, it was.
And it still is.
Always has been.
So when you hear the words altar call, which was really, it's more of a modern thing. Before that, who was it? It's not Samuel Wigglesworth. It is, I think is my man that I like so much, Charles Finney.
Finney, yes.
Before Charles Finney said, if your heart is convicted, come right up here in the front of the church to the altar and let's settle the business. Before that, man had to just get the growing consciousness in his own spirit that, hey, things need to change and it can't be done by myself. So I need to draw on some greater power. And that greater power comes from the Creator who fashioned me in a particular way for a specific purpose. So, yeah, I know some people get shy and some get downright hostile.
I mean, if I tell you.
You should tell me. And, when I was a child, if you say altar call me gone, I'm right there at the altar.
Seriously?
Yeah, my heart was always easily touched.
Aye, girl. Love you.
I mean, you really don't know what you're responding to.
But then you have to explain to them what it really is. Repentance means a change of heart and mind that results in action that is going in the opposite direction of what you're doing.
Yeah. So really now, you can make your own altar call and answer it right there in your car, right in your house, at your desk, in the office. You say, you know what? This is not working. I'm heading in a different direction. So that's what the altar is. It's a place of sacrifice and exchange. You do a transaction right there. You make covenant take place at the altar. And you can have an altar anywhere. The altar can be in your car. It can be, my cousin told me that when she migrated to America, she was trying to get a car, and, she wasn't working she wasn't making a lot of money at the time, and what kind of car she could get. But she had left Jamaica where she had a good car. She had been working in a bank in Jamaica and well-educated and so on and so forth. And she prayed about getting a car and went looking and came upon some really nice BMW that she could not afford by any stretch of the imagination. But she fell in love with the car. And, well, to cut a long story short, God gave her the car. The deal she got on the car, she feel that when she left with the car, the man was saying, what happened?
What happened there?
Where's my good car? Did I really give away my car to that pretty lady? I figured that's what, no man, she's my cousin. She's charming, she's my girl. So she kept the car. She's been living abroad now for maybe 10 or so years. She's just kept the car in fine condition for a long time. And something happened, and there was the possibility that the car would have to be written off. She said that car is where she pray, where she sing, where she talk to God. Any problem, she could go sit in her car, and that's where it gets sorted out. Her altar was in her car. So something happened to the car, and they said, given the age of the car, they're ready to put it to sleep now. It would be written off because it would be uneconomic to
try to
repair it and to give her. It was water damage. Yes, water damage. Well, she went praying again. Would you believe it? Perhaps never again will such a decision be taken in an insurance company. The insurance company decided to fix her car.
Okay.
Her altar. God is a covenant-keeping God. So she'd still have her fancy BMW that she just absolutely loves. She said she sat in the car when her husband was telling her that this, given the cost of the repair, it's going to be written off. And the insurance company was on the same path. And I don't think she told me what turn. She just know that end of the day, they said, we'll fix your car. And they restored the car. So the altar have power. Altar have power.
I know there are other altars, though.
Oh, yes.
Sometimes you have to.
Yeah.
Yeah, so what you must ensure, even as we speak about the altar being the place of repentance, there are altars also in this country that speak to evil and the perpetuating of evil.
Mm-hmm.
And so we have to come against those altars even as we do that, because there are some people who thrive with the evil and the things that are happening, and we have to destroy those altars by fire.
I started off by saying that the altar is a place of exchange and sacrifice.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So if you're sacrificing to, it's who you're sacrificing.
And we have to understand that
determines the power that you draw.
Mm-hmm.
And sacrifices are done to every kind of But the one we speak about, and the one I was saying, don't be thinking that this is an altar call, because it's not the one you fear, the one that you think you are going to be sacrificing all the joy and pleasure in your life and get back boring sadness and struggle.
One of the altars you love to speak about is Mount Carmel. You remember with
Mount Moriah, you mean?
Mount Moriah and Mount Carmel.
Just call it Mount Moriah.
So there was at Mount Carmel the two altars.
Mm-hmm.
And you answered by fire.
Nice. Oh.
And there's the other one, Mount Moriah, which is an even more powerful one.
Yeah.
Because at that one, real exchange happened, when God says, at that altar, know that I know. Because you were willing to put...
Well, I think when you look at the power of that altar, you can track. The first was Abraham took Isaac there.
Mm-hmm.
And then the one that I love the most, which is what I think kind of seal it, King David, when he stood there, because it's in the Jezreel Valley, and it's where it's in that account, it's the threshing floor of Araunah the Jebusite.
Yes, and he had to go. Oops.
And when the Jebusite said, I will give it to you for free.
He said, no.
And I'll throw in the cattle. I will throw in the oxen and the yoke. You can use that as the fire. The oxen would be the sacrifice, and the yoke would be the wood for the fire.
Right.
David famously said, I will not give anything to my God for which I have not paid full value. And that's the essence of sacrifice. It must cost you. It must cost you something of value.
Yep.
Yeah. So, plenty things of value are on my altar. Plenty things of great value are on my altar. It has cost me. It has cost me to be here.
Mm-hmm.
Many persons in like my situation, pack up them things and go, because them still have them learning and them training in them head and in them heart, and they can land somewhere else and do well. We're talking about leaving Jamaica. The first time I had the inkling to really consider migration, I looked at what persons of comparable ability were doing in other countries where they didn't have to go through certain things.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, where the fight had already been fought for opportunities for women and black people, and they were making specific and special arrangements to embrace women of color and ability. And I thought, what could I do in a place like that? With a population of a certain size, a market of a certain size, and wealth that you could draw on. I thought, wow, put me in that place, I would swim. But then I would have to leave my mom, I'd have to leave my family connections, and the hopes that I had of contributing to Jamaica, I would have had to forego all of those, because you can't serve both God and Mammon.
Which is one of my favorite things. You cannot. But as we reflect on Mount Moriah, which is where, as you said...
Where I was born?
Yes, where you were born. Where you are being reborn. We want to think about it. The word Moriah means God is my teacher.
Education.
God is my teacher. So you come to this place where you make the ultimate sacrifice. And God begins to teach you the new ways that you should go in.
Mm-hmm.
And even as we reflect, it's a place of repentance. Because repentance means change the way that you have been doing. Change your thinking. Repent. Change your mind. And God is saying in that instance, I am going to be teaching you my ways. That indeed in learning my ways, I'll impact your immediate future. I'm entering into a new covenant with you. And as we talk about it, I'm reflecting on where we are in Jamaica, and God saying, come on. As a country, we have really broken covenant. And to our leaders, the declaration is there needs to be a place of repentance for what we have done to our people, what we have perpetuated over the years in the name of politics and the gangs and so on. Time to change. What do you say?
Yep. Well overdue. I wanted to share with you it's one of your favorite kings. Every time we talk about reform, and Jamaica is talking about reform, you bring up the name Josiah. I have 1 minute to talk about Josiah. The only thing I want to say about it, if you go and look in 2 Chronicles chapter 34, you'll see when King Josiah was brought to his attention that there is a book of law. There is a law that if it has consequences when the people break it. And when the law was read to Josiah, he tore his robe, which apparently is a big thing to tear your own kingly robes.
True.
He tore his robe
repentance.
And he sent them to inquire of the Lord for the safety, the well-being, the future of the remnant in Israel and Judah. Because what he saw showed him that the anger of God had been poured out on the nation because those who went ahead of them had not kept the word of the Lord. So we're always talking about coming back to covenant. We have to get back to the covenant. It starts with the leaders. And I said, not just talking about Prime Minister Holness, I'm talking about the 63, I'm talking about the captains of industry, the leaders of the church, the thought leaders, the people who are on radio programs like this talking to people. All of us need to come to our senses and return to a place of righteousness and make that exchange, because the future of our country depends on it. What was given to Josiah, the Lord said, I see your heart, I see your acts of repentance. It will not happen in your time.
Hard.
So for as long as the king lived, the consequences of the sin was held at bay. The price is always paid, but you can delay it and make sure that you and your children get through the gate. And every generation that comes and takes a decision to delay the consequences of our awful behavior, it keeps going, because God is faithful. And if he has done it one time, he will do it again, but you got to ask. Time for the break?
Amen, amen, amen.
A difference you can hear, a difference you can feel.
Best FM 100 on your dial. Keep listening.
BBC News. Hello, I'm Tom Watts. NASA says it's put on hold the countdown for the launch of its most powerful rocket 40 minutes before Artemis 1 had been due to take off for an unmanned test flight to the moon. The US Space Agency said it was investigating a possible crack on the rocket and trying to get one of the engines down to operating temperature. Earlier, a NASA astronaut told the BBC glitches are very common in test flights.
This is the first time we've taken the count anywhere close to zero. We've done tests to put propellant in the tanks, but we haven't tried to take it all the way to flight yet. So there are many, many opportunities for new things to crop up. It's a test flight. We're doing the tests. We won't go till we're ready.
The Artemis program is aimed at returning humans to the moon, among them the first woman and person of colour. The Ukrainian military says its long-awaited offensive on the southern front has begun. It says the army has broken through the first line of Russian defence around the main city of Kherson. In a social media post, the Ukrainian armed forces say fighters from the self-proclaimed Donetsk People's Republic have retreated from their positions in the Kherson region, and the Russian paratroopers who supported them have fled the battlefield. Russia says it is ready to guarantee security for UN inspectors during their mission to the Zaporizhia power plant in Ukraine later this week. It confirmed the inspectors would travel to the plant via Ukrainian-held territory. Sasha Schlichter reports.
With the first IAEA mission finally on its way to the Zaporizhzhia station, the Kremlin spokesman Dmitry Peskov repeated Moscow's line that the international community must put pressure on Ukraine to reduce military tension at the site, ignoring the fact that it's a Ukrainian plant which was blatantly seized by Russian troops at the very start of the invasion. Mr. Peskov said Russia would of course provide the inspectors with security guarantees, but was not prepared to discuss demilitarization of the area, something Washington has been insisting on.
International help has begun trickling into Pakistan as local authorities struggle to cope with the worst flooding in the country's history. The first aid flights from Turkey and the United Arab Emirates began arriving on Sunday. More than 1,000 people have died. Sanjay Dasgupta has more details.
UNICEF's representative for Pakistan, Abdullah Fadil, has described conditions there as a calamity of biblical proportions. About 33 million people, 1 in 7 Pakistanis are affected. Nearly 1 million homes are damaged or destroyed, millions of acres of rich farmland inundated. Army helicopters were struggling to pluck people to safety from remote northern villages, where steep hills and deep valleys make for treacherous flying conditions. The Pakistani Army Chief, General Qamar Javed Bajwa, has warned rehabilitation could take years.
Sanjay Dasgupta reporting. This is the latest world news from the BBC. The Norwegian carbon dioxide storage company Northern Lights has announced its first commercial deal in what it's describing as a breakthrough for the industry. From 2025, it will take 800,000 tonnes of CO2 each year from the Dutch fertiliser manufacturer Yara and inject it into rocks under the North Sea. The chief executive of Shell, one of the joint owners of the company, said the agreement proved carbon capture and storage worked and would lead to other deals. Pakistan has rejected an assertion by the Taliban's acting defence minister that it allows the United States to use Pakistani airspace to operate drones over Afghanistan. A Pakistan Foreign Office spokesman called the allegation highly regrettable conjecture. The powerful Iraqi Shia cleric Muqtada al-Sadr has said he's going to withdraw entirely from politics. Al-Sadr's political allegiance won the largest number of seats in last year's election, but no government has since been agreed on by Iraq's political factions. Sebastian Usher reports.
Muqtada al-Sadr has declared that this is his final retirement from political life. He also said that all his movement's offices would be closed down, except for religious and cultural institutions. This is by no means the first time that Sadr has announced that he's abandoning politics, only to return at a later date. But it comes amid a standoff that's lasted longer than previous periods of political paralysis. The Sadrist alliance won the most seats in last year's election, but all its MPs resigned in June. Thousands of Sadr's supporters subsequently stormed Parliament and have since staged a protest sit-in. Today's announcement seems more like another stage in Iraq's intricate power play than a move towards resolving the crisis.
The Barcelona footballer Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang has been the victim of a violent robbery in his home early on Monday. The club said 4 armed men had broken into the Gabonese striker's house and forced him to open a safe. They made off with jewels that were kept there. BBC.
A difference you can hear. A difference you can feel.
Best FM 100 on your dial. Keep listening.
Warning, warning. When there is a hurricane warning, button down, tie down, everything. Lift appliances and furniture off the ground and secure your valuable items. If you want a boat, secure it on land and turn on your yard. If you a fisherman, make sure you turn off every breaker. And before you sleep, turn off your generator. Flooding, that is a real danger. If you live a gully bank, live a bank or low line area. If you see flood waters are rising, get out, get out. Heed the warning. If your land starts slipping and sliding, get out, get out. Heed the warning. Hurricanes gonna happen, so be prepared.
A message from the Office of Disaster Preparedness and Emergency Management.
For a better choice in all your electrical supplies, A, authorized 3M dealer and better brand names. B, better service including free island-wide delivery. C, all major credit and debit cards accepted. It's ABC Electrical Sales. Shop number 8, Hagley Park Plaza, Kingston 10. Open Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Saturday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. We make your electrical jobs as easy as ABC. Call 754 call 382-528 or fax 754-3659. ABC Electrical Sales for a better choice.
Half a tree, 100, half a tree. Bossy, away, I do I take taxi star.
Jano, I want to tell you, say, at 2 months now, my transmission mash up, and me check everybody and can't hear nothing positive.
Yeah, hear me? Yeah, waste all that time I shop around and never call the experts. Winters Auto have them. Them have over 35 years of experience and them diagnose the problem and get back your transmission brand new. For them service excellent and efficient. Trust me, man. Yeah, hear me? Call them at 929-7040 or go to them at 106 Maxfield Avenue, Kingston 13 and talk directly to the boss. Just tell them I'm me send you.
Wow, you big star. Yeah, man, respect my boss.
Yeah, try calling, cause trust me.
Waiters Auto Spares and Repairs, good afternoon.
Ah, what a relief.
Hey, say, let not your hearts be troubled. Just believe in God Almighty and daily renew the mind. As we live in this time when fake is more valued than real, lies prefer to truth, the unnatural put above the natural. This is Lady Donna, aka Double D Donna, with a new song, Almighty Jah, encouraging your people to keep the faith. God will make a way. Get your copy today. It's on all digital platforms. Lady Donna Official on Instagram, Facebook, AsujaRecords.com for bookings. Asuja Record label at Gmail. Almighty Jah.
The Morning Connection is not your usual talk show. We aim to stimulate discussion and chart new paths to self-empowerment. So please join us, Minette and Percy, on The Morning Connection, Mondays to Thursdays, 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. on Best 100 FM.
It's good, it's better, but nothing beats.
Welcome back to the Morning Connection. We're at that time when we open the lines to hear your comments on what we've been discussing, or if there's anything else that has been troubling your mind that you want to hear your views about. Our lines are 876-619-1508 and 876-279-8473. And my co-host is feeling like a very proud mom today. I won't tell you what that is. Yes.
Yes, it's John Tay's birthday.
Yeah. You won't get away, but you must be very, very proud.
Yes, I'm really excited because our friend and sister Maxine is doing a massive project, and she did an excellent interview on Smile Jamaica this morning. Yeah, you could find it online, I'm sure, and they probably...
Queen Maxine, I call her. Queen Maxine.
Yeah, looking beautiful on Smile Jamaica. And just wonderful to hear her giving voice to the things that is going to make a difference. We shall see. But yes, as Pastor Percival said, it's your time to talk. I digress from Pastor Percival's invitation to speak whatever is troubling you. This morning, I want you to talk to me about why they leave and why we stay. Why some leave, why some stay. There's some problems on the rock that we gotta make a very, very determined push to sort it out. We ended the last segment standing with young King Josiah. He was about 16 years old when they found the book. Mm-hmm. And he tore his robe. His heart was touched by the recognition that man has strayed, not just in his time, but even before, because, there is the sowing and then comes the harvest. And we are reaping the bitter fruit of seeds sown long ago, and we're sowing some ourselves now that we need to dig it up quick. What did it say? A time to sow and a time to uproot that which was planted. We have to do some unplanting.
And we as prophetic...
It's possible,
And we are... No, it can't, because...
what you have planted. I made a mistake. Lord, I shouldn't have put that in the ground. Let me take it back out and get my house in order. We need to get our house in order.
Power has been given to us as people sit on the walls to uproot, to pull, to plant.
Absolutely. So we're doing some uprooting this morning. And then I'm inviting you to partner with us in planting new seed on fertile soil. Good morning and welcome to the Morning Connection.
Good Good morning, beautiful girl.
Good
Hi,
morning.
great man. How are you doing? And to all those wonderful people who listen.
Good morning, Lady Love. How are you today?
I am fine. I didn't hear you last week at all because I was on the road most days. And then come home and the foot them swell.
Oh Lord, that is so. What, you were using public transportation?
Yeah.
Oh my dear, I'm glad you survived it.
You stand at the bus stop. You stand up from 5 o'clock until 7 o'clock in the morning waiting for bus.
Are you kidding me? 2 hours?
And then we have money given to taxi people. What kind of situation this is? I don't know.
Because you see, transportation is, you know from European history, Mussolini was famous for causing the trains to run on time. Organized transportation makes a difference to the productivity of a country.
The one that we eventually got, the driver said, I don't know if we're going to reach because the bus is overheating. Thank God we reached though.
All right. Wow. So what's on your mind this morning?
I heard you talking about King Josiah. Are you referring Josiah Grant?
She's talking about our grandson. All right. No.
All
Well,
right.
he's a king.
You talk about Mr. Samuda and the games they're playing in Canada.
Yeah.
My son has been living in Canada for quite a while. And he said, Mom, these people are bitchy. That's how he styled them.
What
and
does
he says
that
it's not
mean?
only one set it's like all of them is just bitchy.
Okay.
So I know what the people over there are going through. It's a pity that we don't have feelings for each other. But when you say, I heard a man say, when they say white man, them knee bow down, I think it's the man who are fighting the Russian leader said that. When the black people say white
Putin.
man, it's like we bow down our knees. But it's not the knees that are bowed down by Jamaican people who go over there. It is them head. You understand? I don't know what is wrong with these people. I'm really surprised that Mr. Samuda will come out and say them say, the people over there.
You're surprised that Mr. Samuda dismissed the complaints of black Jamaicans?
Yes, that's what I'm talking about.
You are surprised?
Yeah, I'm surprised that he did that.
Oh.
Publicly.
Yes, you had the expectation. I salute you for maintaining some expectation of fair dealing and fair treatment.
But we must have fair dealing and fair to survive. Do you wonder why Jamaica is what it is? I worked with some Chinese in 1974 when I left school. And when I worked with them, you couldn't sit down, And I got downtown about a month or two ago to buy something in one of them shops for somebody because she asked me to. And I went and bought the things them. And just as I was about to pay, there was a girl who works in the shop. She looked so weary and tired and was looking at a place to sit down. Here the woman, the tiny woman, you can't sit in here. This is not a place to sit down. I said, in this time and age.
This is in downtown Jamaica the other day, basically.
Downtown Jamaica.
See?
You see what I'm saying?
Yep.
So they come here treating us as slaves in our own country and nobody to talk for us. Look what is happening to our people who are, you call them contract workers, especially the people who are security guards. Some of them have to be working back to back. And
all right.
And it's an housing trust is not being paid for them as other workers.
So now you can understand why to Mr. Samuda, whatever condition he found in Canada will seem just fine. Because right here in Jamaica, people are being treated in a certain way at a standard that obviously our leaders or politicians or administrators feel that is acceptable. So if you go to Canada and find that the man paint up the place where them sleeping, and if you find that he permit them to distribute food on the veranda, do you think that that is high living? Because you don't have a standard for your own people in your own country that exceeds that. The expectation is so low that anything you go and see somewhere else is good enough for your people. It should be that he has to spend a week living on every farm.
Working.
If he were of an age, he should go in undercover and work there to see what it is that he's consigning the Jamaicans to, and we're earning foreign exchange from it.
You see, the whole thing is the dollar, and the dollar is making all of us holler. Don't you see?
That's a good rhyme.
Yeah. The dollar, I have a song long time. The dollar, I make we all holler.
I remember that.
Yes.
The whole thing is that we value the dollar over our people. How can you do that?
Yeah.
You cannot do these things because you're destroying this humanity out of every human being in this land if you continue doing that. And you put up some on pedestal. And did you play my song that says, all men are equal in the sight of God?
Did we? Yeah, that is, that's the engineer's bailiwick. Looking at him, he's smiling with his cute smile. I don't know if it's a yes or a no. He couldn't find it. He never found it. Your songs are hiding from us on the internet.
Time, and it went to the engineer, I was told.
Okay.
Check Lloyd. She says they told her that it was sent to you.
Okay.
Anyway.
Yes.
And it's email.
And she sent it by email this time.
Okay. All right.
So I just want to laud you up for really speaking out for our people as what you've always been doing. And hope that the hope now will reach more Jamaicans to make a decision of what we want in our country.
Amen.
Right now, look what is happening. The people are saying, get rid of the man who is insecurity. Him head it, but him don't know him head from him foot. But you still have him here.
Yeah.
Because you must be getting something from China that is no good like the buses that is here.
The overheated bus that you...
And not only that, they don't have those seats, they take the seat out of the old one, them come from Belgium or what have you. I'm putting it there.
Jesus, Frankenstein bus. And you see, a lot of us don't get the opportunity to walk certain paths, so we don't see what it is persons are living with. And that's why I don't make the mistake of dismissing anybody's experience. If you tell me, said this is what you're putting up with, I have no basis on which to disbelieve you and to be out there saying it's not true, what I saw was different, because my eyes are different.
Not only that.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's true.
Exactly. Anyway, I don't want to keep up the time.
Thank you, my dear.
When the cup comes, somebody asked me, what about your cup?
Oh, you got it. You don't get your cup yet. Well, I can tell you that Neville delivers.
Yeah, man, he does.
Yeah, I know.
So you can look forward to your cup. They say it might be slow in coming, but wait for it.
It's coming.
It shall
surely come.
Thank you so much for sharing with us this morning.
I love you all.
I love you too, my sister.
Because that's the only thing can save we.
All right, thank you.
That is the truth.
Mm-hmm.
All the best to all who listens. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Mm-hmm.
Good morning. Welcome to the Morning Connection. Good morning. Good morning. All right, while I'm waiting, I see Conrad here saying that
country.
He has seen the subtle racism where people smile with you and they hate you, and you see it.
I experienced it as a child.
Yeah. With the nun? You and the nun?
No, in Canada.
Oh, okay.
In Canada.
Yeah, he says, I'm a witness to these racist behaviors. However, I don't accept it. I step on their neck, and then they act surprised, and then they avoid you. Yeah, you resist the devil, and he will flee.
Mm-hmm.
That is biblical.
Mm-hmm.
Good morning. Welcome to the Morning Connection.
Morning.
Good morning,
sir.
Oh, I'm connected?
Yes, you are.
Turn off your radio.
Okay. Oh, no. Move away from it.
Sounds like Jigsaw.
Yeah, long time no Jigsaw. How you doing?
I'm doing fine, but a little bit disturbed.
Yes?
And I wish to, the comments made about this Canadian farmer situation
yes.
is awful. It's awful. I need to reinforce much of what has been said earlier on by this event. Right? But we have a thing in Jamaica. You have to learn to dance a yard before you dance abroad. But I know some playing the reggae over there. When he was there.
Oh, you mean for the minister?
Yes, really.
Well, they obviously spun him a tail. And he was so impressed that he couldn't even resist putting it on the front page.
Foolishness. The least he could say that they are complaining. Based on my 2-day visit, nothing was brought of that nature to his attention. But he looked into it, investigate it. He get a report from the liaison officers.
Yes.
And so on and so on.
Yes, yes.
Right? Because the liaison officers will know about it, but they probably won't raise up their head on their voices, right?
Yeah, yeah.
They want to stay in the game, and don't step on any rotten toes.
Yeah, I mean, it just seems very juvenile that a minister would believe that what he sees on a state visit would really show up what people complain about.
But in think all of a fool. In any organization, you're employed in or engaged in. When inspection going to take place by the head honcho or...
Oh, you mean?
Clean it up, man.
Everything done up and things push aside.
Absolutely.
I don't see what happens in the regular routine on a daily basis.
I mean, most of us know what it is like if a minister or head of state or some important person is going to visit. Weeks in advance of the visit, the preparations are being made.
Fix the road. You say the route them going and fix the road.
You paint up. Oh, Jesus.
No. Look here. What did you just say? He was like, no, my term is asinine. That's no.
I was saying juvenile.
These guys, this gentleman of that nature,
yes,
and experience and perform, how he has performed, need to take his foot and head off the plantation.
Yes, you said it.
Right? The plantation mentality brings out statements like that or behavior.
Yes. And you see, remember, the Lady Love just now said she went down and saw downtown and saw the Chinese people bullying workers and telling them this is no place to sit. You can't come off of your foot for 5 minutes. So there are some standards still in the workforce in Jamaica that would cause them to think that that's quite all right. Because we're not treating our people any better here in some places,
Look here, those people have a different culture, right?
Yes.
Different orientation.
True. So it may not come from a racist mentality.
Where they run their activities, but some Jamaicans who not adequately trained.
Yes.
And pick up a culture of more productivity and production. They just passing through based on what they're earning anyway.
Yeah.
Not motivated to swing in at a higher level.
Yes.
So it'll be subject to that because the Chinese, they need to themselves over there in their own
country. That's right. So that is what I agree with you on that. That is how they are accustomed to treating their own. So it's not racist, but the abuse is the same regardless of the motivation.
Yeah, especially urban versus, what do you call it, country?
Rural.
Over there?
Yeah.
Rural, what's the word?
Yes.
Yeah. And so, most of us are aware.
Yeah.
Mr. Minister, if you don't have nothing good to say, shut your mouth.
Up.
Shame on you, sir.
Yeah.
Shame on you.
I mean...
Expect better.
Yeah.
Expect better and demand better. Right? But there's a demand coming up where we're going to position ourselves adequately.
Mm-hmm. Let our voices be heard. All right, my brother, thank you so much. Democracy need to do the talking, since that's what we say. And if that don't work, I know the alternative is not going to be peaceful.
Yeah, well.
Thank you.
All right, Jigsaw, thanks for calling.
Keep it up.
All right, sir. You know, there's a comment here from one of our listeners in America. He said, in Canada. I apologize, my brother. He says, I know lots of people who ran away from these farms, and they told you they work till their hands swell. Some get sick on the farms, and you don't hear about that. It is very sad. They put the farmers in dirty outhouses. Good morning. Welcome to the Morning Connection.
Morning, sister.
Good morning,
sir.
brother.
How you doing?
Yes, boss. All right. This farmer thing.
Yes.
It's not the first this thing happening. I talk on the phone remember. And I hear it by the PMP government and Port of Simpson was minister of labor right now.
Yes.
And you have some farmer from America. They need have some friend that pass on farmer to complain to. The man them a work under some tough condition and the man they demand them work here. When she got that minister of labor now.
Yes.
She explained to the people them but the man them a work with I say, I agree the man them greedy because the farmer could never get a better pay and doctor. Go check it and verify it, I tell you.
So it's not the first time you're saying that a minister of government has been dismissive of the workers' complaint. You're saying Portia Simpson Miller did it, went to Canada, and says greedy, the farm workers greedy.
America.
She went to America. Yes.
And she was minister here. And the man said, the water and drinking because some black looking water.
Brackish water, yeah.
Yes. The food actually stink, and the man said, them own food and them own oil because the oil and not fresh from gas oil. So when they come here and get food, when I work, them say the food comes on the line, and for work, I'm on the cane. You have your food, you mash it them and chop and someday you finish your food, you put it down when it comes.
Well, you know, my brother, the part I want to be clear on that you're saying is that before Samuda did this shameful thing, Portia Simpson Miller did it too.
Man. When she was minister of labor, man.
She did the same.
Go and research it.
All right, I will research it, but I can tell you that if I had the platform I have now, I would have condemned that behavior on her part with the same vigor. In fact, maybe with more, because I expect much better from Portia Simpson Miller. Yeah, I'm gonna check it out. But you see, it tells you that we can't here sit down and talk about PNP better than JLP or JLP better than PNP. We always have to zero in on the heart of the people who are serving and recognize that we need better quality people with a more righteous attitude towards Jamaicans.
Why I say
yes.
A long time, they not care.
They not care.
So, we know yeah. The people that come contest.
Yes.
About that, making no be. No, I'm not sure this one. That's have a platform stand and look here. A long time that one and no side care because when one is opposition, you know.
Yes.
They have the better argument and
oh yes.
Okay.
And they are the same thing.
When they come into power, them just step into the same position.
Right.
We have to break that cycle, man.
For change hearts.
This is a class, you know, because the workers them come from can't to them, you know, because we are people in the current site and that, you know. But if the two of them might have become more privileged by education and attending certain institutions, the man them and the woman them have the hard people, we keep them up better, we employ them, we pay them. Them deal with us like we are nothing.
Yeah.
Behavior.
All right. Okay.
Make a one, you know, if you don't make a general stretch for 3 months, I show them what they do.
Okay, my brother. We thank you for that comment. We've come up onto the break, so we hear what you're saying, and as we have been saying on this program, heart. Need to check the heart of people because we're getting the same thing through different administrations. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks very much. Good. All right. It's time for the 8:30 break. So just stay with us. We're going to be right back.
A difference you can hear. A difference you can feel.
Best FM 100 on your dial. Keep listening.
We're ever ready to assist you before, during, and after a disaster. Hurricanes can happen, so be prepared.
Praise the Lord, praise the Lord. God is good. This is already pastor and friend, Reverend Simon Peter Jones, inviting you, my friends, to listen every Tuesday evening on Best 100 FM at 7:30 p.m. for the program The Voice of Hope, as we extend hope to the hopeless in this dying world. God is good. Be encouraged. Hope is in the Lord.
Veteran Printers for all your printing needs. We specialize in calendars, flyers, brochures, and more. Call us today at 968-7506. That's 968-7506. Or visit us at 4 East Bloomsbury Road, off Hagley Park Road. Veteran Printers, your best choice in printing.
What should a taxi service do for you? On-Time Taxi Service is more than just a ride to the other side of town. They offer clean and spacious vehicles, reliable service, and promise to always look out for their customers. They'll come when you call and take you where you want to go on time.
From anywhere at all. You can call us at 926-3866.
We are something special on the road.
Praise Him. Praise Him.
Best 100 FM is the authentic voice of Jamaica, promoting your prosperity with better vibes and better music. Let us promote your goods and services for you. Advertise with us. For more information, call our office at 876-276-8935. That's 276-8935.
The Morning Connection is not your usual talk show. We aim to stimulate discussion and chart new paths to self-empowerment. So please join us, Minette and Percy, on The Morning Connection, Mondays to Thursdays, 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. on Best 100 FM.
It's good, it's better, but nothing beats.
Good morning. As we come back, we send condolences to the family of Francois St. Juice. He was on campus with us, if you recalled.
I don't recall.
I recall. Yes, he was on Veterans. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. I liked him. Good man.
Well,
funny
yeah.
gentleman.
I know that, he's very connected to first daughter, Shantae, practically her godfather, and such a powerful voice in radio. The fun and the energy that he brought to fame. I mean, he made radio into a brand. Radio was not just news. Radio was entertainment and a business. And that is, I think, he will long be remembered. Long be remembered. Good morning and welcome to the Morning Connection.
Morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir. How are you? We was waiting for you to call. Oh, you do?
It is Cruz, not Santa.
I know it is Cruz. I know it's Cruz.
As in Tom Cruise?
No, no, I call him a Cruz.
I know. Yeah, we've been talking about some issues that I know
close to your heart.
You are an expert on some of those things.
Yes, because like I said, I was a bad slave at every farm I went. Break every rule. You can ask him about me. Anybody remember Bill Nightingale farm? I stopped working for that guy twice and went back.
That was in Canada?
Yes.
Okay.
I want to know which farm that Mombasa guy went to.
Well, he said he did 7 farms. And
I want to know farms, name of those farms.
Yeah.
Did you went to Bill Nightingale's?
I don't know. They didn't put the names of the farms.
I heard that guy about 200.
You heard that the call dropped a little bit there.
I said,
Yes.
it's the son that is running the farm, not the father.
Yes.
That I knew. But the child, I used to fix his bicycle, his little trail bike. And you know, one day I went across their house and they asked me, his wife said I can take a swim in the pool. I said, no, man, I'm okay. And the child said, Mom, the pool would turn purple. That's
Lord
what the child said.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you hear that, Lowell?
Purple.
Because he had not been taught that the color of the man's skin was not something that could contaminate water or beautify water.
Anyway, let me tell you something.
We hope he learned a lot more since that age.
Let me tell you something. I knew that this government changed the liaison officers, because every party change the liaison officer when they win.
I see.
Yes, so this government would have their own people up there. So when the minister is going up, they contact the farm that they send him to clean up.
Of course. Dear Lord, if my mother-in-law is visiting my house, me clean up. Much less.
There are farmers that won't say anything because they're scared of losing their job.
Listen, the people in that very letter wrote anonymously and said they don't want to disclose their identity because they don't want to be victimized.
Right. They'll get victimized.
Yeah, so you know, if you guess.
Every farm I went to, I was a troublemaker. But they kept me because I could work. I always do my job. You know? And
So I take it you are agreeing with us that it is wrong for the minister to dismiss the workers' complaints because the nature of the business involves the very kind of excesses that those workers are talking about. Long hours, abusive talk and intimidation, and poor working conditions, and sometimes issues with even the quality of the food and the conditions under which food is served.
this guy should dine from he did Barca grass. You remember that?
Yeah, but let us measure him now on current performance, because he never resigned at that time. In fact, this is a man who is loved by both political parties. He can take up him voters and carry them wherever he chooses to go. So we can't even look at him in terms of politics, because him swing both ways. We've got to look now in terms of integrity and performance and what is coming out of his heart.
These people don't care. They don't care. They don't care. They don't care. But when I was on the farm, I would be the spokesperson at the farm when they're keeping meeting. And when he found that out, when he's going to keep meeting, he sent me away. I was a maintenance man on the farm, for the past from 97. And I used to drive 4 hours from Lackland to Dresden and 4 hours back.
So I gotta ask you this: are you given information about healthcare arrangements and insurance arrangements? If something were to happen to you, what your family would get, and when you sign up, do you get like a package of information that you can even leave with your wife or with your family to say, in the event of trouble, this is what applies? Is there an insurance policy?
In my time, no. I never get that. I don't know if it changed. No.
Okay. Is there any money that you have to pay to government out of your wages?
25%. When I was there, 25% automatic take out of my pay.
For what? For savings for you when you come back home, it become yours, or it go to the government?
My own, but the government get money out of that too.
Okay.
25% is compulsory saving that I get, and one I did second that thing with blacksmith,
Yeah.
Yes. Remember that we were short pants because of that.
I get so the government.
Yeah, so it is human trafficking, glorified and wrapped up in every kind of dress. But it's no more than our own government sending our people off into vulnerable situations without creating a proper safety net. That is how I look at it.
This minute, we are the only one that is treated like this. The BAG, they all have different contracts, you know.
Are you serious?
And people who advocate for them to better effect, is it that they had... Give me an example of what's different in between the contracts.
Okay, if a Trinidad and work on Bill's farm last year and he kicked him off, he can just go to another farm. A Jamaican cannot do that.
What would that? The Jamaican would have to come back home?
Yes, and try and either spend some money to go to another farm, which is true. I'm not lying.
Yes.
Or they wait and get another farmer card.
Interesting.
Everything different with the Trini and the beaches. Our negotiation with them were different.
Yeah. Well, you don't have to guess why. People complain and their own minister said they're lying.
Well, but the other thing I want you to check out is Sims Miller.
Yes.
I need to get to the bottom of this.
Yes.
I've never heard of that. It could be true. So I want you to get to the bottom of it. That. The other thing I want to talk about, I don't know if you know about this. A stoplight, a four-way stoplight, a stoplight at a crossroad. When it's not working, nobody has. Did that law change?
No, don't change.
If a stoplight at a four-way cross is not working,
becomes a four-way.
It operates on the same principles as a four-way that does not have a light. What happened?
So who gets there first, go across, and wait his turn, right?
Yes.
That's correct.
No. The stoplight down at the bottom gas station in Santa Cruz is not working. And the vehicle coming from west to east or east to west, they think they own the road.
Okay.
And it's a true four-way, not minor roads intersecting with a main road?
No, it's still main road.
Minor road intersecting with a major road, but there's a four-way stoplight.
No, but Pastor seems to know the road you're talking about, and he says it's two major roads.
It's two major roads, yeah.
Yes.
Because, you can have a four-way where it is a minor road intersecting with a major roadway, and the minor roadway always have to wait its turn.
That's why they put the stoplight there.
Yeah.
Once there's stoplight there, it's a major road. So nobody have the right of way.
So they must need to fix the stoplight. That's all?
But...
So has it been causing accidents?
No. To go across the road, I have to creep out in the road and put my hand to the west and tell a guy to ease up.
Yes.
Some accident going to happen down there.
Yeah.
And I see police stop down there and they don't do anything about it. Keeping at the same side.
Well, you're mentioning now one of the reasons why people leave. Law and order it seemed to be, a thing of convenience. You obey it when you feel a mind, and the police are on duty only, I'm not sure when. Because I always think a policeman is always on duty. From him enter a situation, his authority should be exercised and respected, and he must know that too.
Yeah, that's true,
Can't have a policeman who is off duty when things are going on. If citizens have powers of citizens' arrest, what say a policeman who is garbed in his authority? Anyway, my brother. Yes.
Back to the farmer before I leave. I don't remember if I mentioned, I don't remember if it's Jerry or you, that farmer is slim. I am not lying. I went there 14 times, and people are going to ask me why. Why? But I went.
I would never ask you why, my brother, because always a tough decision, and survival is what causes people to put themselves into difficult situations, gambling that you're going to come out of it with something. And I think you did. I mean, you have your own business now.
I drove up there 24 hours straight, twice.
Wow.
No sleep. I was drinking 9 cups of coffee a day and eating Tim Hortons donuts to stay awake. 24 hours. Especially when it comes to summer. That's a harvest time.
Yes.
Harvest. Back those days, Bill used to plant the most cantaloupe and plastic. So I was the man delivering and stuff like that. I had a truck doing it, but I was the only one on the farm doing most of the driving. Like to Burlington, Hamilton, Toronto. Yes, I used to do those stuff.
Well, if you didn't say it to me, I that has always been my belief. When I see people going off, first you're looking at the things them come back with. They always come back with TV and clothes, and some of them come back and they're able to pay down on land and start build house and so on. But when you see what happens to their family, and you also know a lot of the people in my community that went on farm work were barely literate. So you just imagine what they went through there with the limited ability to function in a society that is highly literate and has certain amenities easily available. Listen, we got to do better by our people. But when you have you take what you can until you can do better for yourself.
My last 5 years on the farm, Nightingale Farm, I didn't answer to his foreman. His foreman came from Manchester. She took him up. He took up his foreman, wife, and 3 kids. Permanent. They live with him on the farm. You know?
Yes.
And
that obviously was a smart move on his part.
He was the house slave.
Okay.
He was the house slave.
Yeah.
But I didn't answer to him for 5 years, and 2 years before I left that farm, he and I did spoke. But I had to tell him a couple, you know what? And the boss asked me to apologize to him, and I would not. I didn't apologize to that guy from Broadleaf, Manchester.
Well, let me tell you, every person who is in the position of a house slave, and I put that with quotes, is available to be used as an ally, as a friend, as an inside man. Plenty rebellion went down and got through because house slaves were not what they appeared. Because that's just the way you have to make a difficult decision.
He has to make it.
He has to make it too. And that's why you always have to be willing to talk to somebody and to communicate. Yeah. You should have made that man into your friend. Y'all could have run things.
The last thing, you can ask anyone can call in that is about to build farm and ask them about me. The only reason why I work for Bill so long, at first I worked for him 23 down in Waterford. He said he didn't knew that black man were smart until he met me.
Okay.
That's what man said to me.
So he flattered you.
Yeah.
I'm multi-talented.
Okay. All right, Cruz. All right, then.
Well, so Samuda is right. If you treat them with respect, they'll work hard for you. All right, my brother, I have another caller on the line that I got to go. But I thank you for sharing with us and giving us some first-hand insight.
Yeah.
Good morning. Welcome to the Morning Connection.
Blessed love, Africa love.
Africa love.
Good morning, brother. How are you doing?
And our producer. No, this morning, 6 o'clock news, there was a chamber of commerce. I guess he's the president.
Is this Mr. Duncan?
Right.
PSOJ.
PSOJ president.
Yeah, he was speaking on
At
the
a
relevance.
Chamber of Commerce event, I think.
Yeah. The government and the opposition come around the table to discuss, the problem of crime in Jamaica. Shortly after that, I heard brethren from the PNP party say that the PNP party is willing to come to the government to discuss it. But if that is not within the benefit of the people of Jamaica, then they won't be participating.
So let me ask you, do you think that Mr. Duncan being the one to make that call gives it any greater likelihood of success or any, does that, I mean, is it of value that Keith Duncan is the one making that call?
No, I don't see any value in that. I don't see that. You know what I mean? Because whenever the opposition and the government sit around the table for the interests of the people, they're supposed to have a proper solution to benefit the people and the country.
But, you know, I think, too, that Mr. Duncan was himself a part of the, what is it, Crime Management Oversight Committee.
And he's chairman of
And
EPOC.
he's chairman of the Economic Planning, what is an Oversight Committee, whatever it's called, the Private Sector Receivership Committee.
Give it a new name now.
Well,
I love it.
We're in receivership.
Oh, my Lord.
All the banks that lend to the government create different committees and put themselves in a position to tell the government what to do. So Mr. Duncan making that call now that's just noise to me.
It's nice, but it's a receiver saying you have to do this. You remember when you're in receivership, you know,
yes.
The receiver can dictate what it
that is true, but they are all bereft of useful ideas.
They're not saying no, you know, but
and so that's what I'm focusing on.
But that's why he comes to the power and say, well, you're in a receivership and you have to do what we say you do, because both are, you know.
But they've all been there. So I think that's what Ras Kremlin is saying, that whatever they are agreeing to or whatever call they are making, if the people not at the center of it, truly at the center of it,
won't go anywhere.
It will not go anywhere. The two of them sitting down, PNP and JLP sitting down to come to an agreement on crime. What does that mean?
All right. And one more thing.
Yes.
There was a what do you call it? We're 93% of Jamaica. A poll that's saying that the Minister of National Security and the Commissioner of Police should be replaced. Now, when I look at that mandate, you know, sister, it's 77% don't agree. And if we can receive a poll that is stating that, then why these people are not replaced?
Mm-hmm. And I would imagine that if the PSOJ wanted to make a statement, they would add their voice to that.
Right.
That's what they would be saying.
You understand me? No, I just cannot understand why situation like this have to remain the same. Now the Prime Minister is going out and he's leaving the Minister of National Security to run the country.
As the Deputy Prime Minister.
You know, listen, I am wondering, you see, I don't know. It's not all the people in Jamaica vote, right, for either party. And if we arrive with 93% is against those who are put in place, right?
It should mean something, right?
Get it now and say, I'm going to find some movement and then now come back until the 1st of September. And the same man where the people them not agree with, him let him to run the country.
Yeah, it seemed quite straightforward and logical to us, but for some reason, it's going the way it is, and it's back to the same reason why Carl Samida could just dismiss what the workers say. No regard for what the people say. That's what it boils down to.
That simple means that the people in Jamaica don't have any power of governance, and they are the government.
But you know, Kremlin, let's focus. If we focus our minds on it, you'll see that there is a path, but it is if we decide to go the path of violence and unrest, then it means when a man ignore what you're saying, you use force to command his attention. But we are a democracy, and we are clinging to it with everything that we have, which means when the government is unmindful of the people's voice and needs, you wait until election time. Now, it really does require...
Start a minute.
Yes.
Start a minute. You use this word democracy, and I don't really see what relevance is. You know, I just see it as a word. You know, because there is no justice in the law in Jamaica. Law requires justice.
I'm trying to...
And when the law established without justice, this is where we are now. This is a problem.
Yeah, but I'm trying to open the conversation with you realistically. What are the options? If you are going the route of fair and free elections, then there is a timetable and there is a process. If you want to speed up the timetable, there's also a process, and it requires those who are currently on the spot, those who have offered themselves up to serve in that way. It requires them to do something. Now, we've spoken before about the civil society institutions that can do something. The PSOJ, for example, the church community, for example, every homeowners association, everybody who have common ground with somebody can rise up and say, listen, this is the direction in which we want to move. We're finished with if it's your MP, if it's your councillor, let him know what you require. And if not, most times it is we're not staying in the yard until we get it done. And it don't have to involve violence and blood flow, but you have to step out there and let your voice be heard. And since we love tourism so much, we need to bring the attention of the tourists to it, because they're not gonna come here if they think they're at risk.
And what we need now, to say, is for the private sector. Every 15 minutes, every station in Jamaica run an ad. Wherein what is important where crime in Jamaica is concerned. Every 15 minutes, every radio station.
But you see, somebody has to pay for that, and this is where this is where
they can pay for that.
They who?
Private sector.
The private sector can pay for that if they love this country and if they love the people. I rather them invest in that.
So you're saying Mr. Duncan could put his hand in his pocket and fund a program that can draw attention to and stir people into advocating for change, instead of asking the political parties to sit down together and agree on crime?
The private sector is an organization. It's not Mr. Duncan. Mr. Duncan is just one.
He is the president or chair of the PSOJ, and you've just said the private sector should pay for something. Somebody would have to lead that charge.
Yeah.
It don't just happen, like that.
No, but this should be the level of motivation. No, even this morning, about 3.
That's Kremlin. We're on the break, Can you hold, please? Yeah.
Yeah, man, I hold, man.
Yeah, and I don't know what's happening with your line. Yeah.
It's his line or...
A difference you can hear. A difference you can feel.
Best FM 100 on your dial. Keep listening.
People, are you listening?
If you choose to remain at home after an evacuation order has been issued, you do so at your own risk.
Get down! Get down! Heed the warning!
Praise the Lord, praise the Lord. God is good. This is already pastor and friend, Reverend Simon Peter Jones, inviting you, my friends, to listen every Tuesday evening on Best 100 FM at 7:30 p.m. for the program, The Voice of Hope, as we extend hope to the hopeless in this dying world. God is good. Be encouraged. Hope is in the Lord.
Veteran Printers for all your printing needs. We specialize in calendars, flyers, brochures, and more. Call us today at 968-7506. That's 968-7506. Or visit us at 4 East Bloomsbury Road, off Hagley Park Road. Veteran Printers, your best choice in printing.
Half a tree, one and drive, half a tree. Bossy, away, I do I take taxi star?
Jano, I want to tell you, say, at 2 months now, my transmission mash up, and I check everybody and can't hear nothing positive.
Yeah, hear me? Yeah, waste all that time I shop around and never call the experts. Winters Auto have them. Them have over 35 years of experience and them diagnose the problem and get back your transmission brand new. For them service excellent and efficient. Trust me, man. Yeah, hear me? Call them at 929-7040 or go to them at 106 Maxfield Avenue, Kingston 13 and talk directly to the boss. Just tell them I'm me send you.
Wow, you big star. Yeah, man, respect my boss.
Yeah, try calling her, cause trust me.
Waiters Auto Spares and Repairs, good afternoon.
Ah, what a relief.
For a better choice in all your electrical supplies, A, authorized 3M dealer and better brand names. B, better service including free island-wide delivery. C, all major credit and debit cards accepted. It's ABC Electrical Sales. Shop number 8, Hagley Park Plaza, Kingston 10. Open Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Saturday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. We make your electrical jobs as easy as ABC. Call 754-382-528 or fax 754-3659. ABC Electrical Sales, for a better choice.
The Morning Connection is not your usual talk show. We aim to stimulate discussion and chart new paths to self-empowerment. So please join us, Minette and Percy, on The Morning Connection, Mondays to Thursdays, 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. on Best 100 FM.
It's good, it's better, but nothing beats.
Welcome back, Ras Kremlin. Can you just quickly wrap up your points? We have another caller waiting, please.
Yeah, what I'm saying is this, you see, that after 60 years, you see, independence, I think the biggest achievements that the country has inherit from it is crime.
Very cynical, but anyway.
I understand why we have this disturbance, online, because I didn't think I fully organized.
Hello?
I really think that's right. We're in a disturbance. All right. So, I mean, I hear to talk more on some little vibration. So, I just say so.
All right. Yeah, man. Yeah. Thanks, Ras. Bless you. Good morning, caller. Welcome to the Morning Connection. How are you today? Hello. Good morning. Good morning. Yes, but he's making a very important point in regards to what the PSOJ can do if they're really serious about the crime situation, which is related to corruption, which is related to justice. Straight up says what the PSA should be doing is pushing for the cases against Royal Reed and the man found with $80 million in his vehicle to be tried. It's a long time, that, you know?
It's a long time, and we've seen some things come and get urgent treatment and so on and so forth. You know, there was a report in I missed it, so I'm just going to raise it now. Good morning. Welcome to the Morning Connection. Good morning. Welcome.
Hello.
I'm getting a rapid beep on the line. Good morning and welcome.
Okay, go ahead.
Do you know that the Alliance family of financial institutions that lost their license, the men were arrested, charged, the company plead guilty, and the men got their plea deal. all gone to the court.
That was quick
Just
enough.
recently, there was another announcement in the paper. They have formed a new financial institution. Good morning. Welcome.
Greetings, Queen, and greetings, King, and all your listeners. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you doing this morning?
We're good, thank you.
You know good? Well, I'm going to my goodness, do. Do me, I'm going to my goodness. Go on some goodness bad this morning.
Okay. So what's up?
Boy, a whole heap of things. I see a whole heap of things are going. I wonder why this one here fight against the one here, why the one here fight against this. Why PMP can't just allow two of them to work together and build a better Jamaica? Why everything the Labour right do PMP against it? Why everything PMP do Labour right against it? Why the people them just can't unite and come together as one? Why? I mean, times is so hard right now.
But it's not just
about to open.
It's not just PNP, JLP. It's neighbor and neighbor. The same thing.
Two people in Jamaica. One label himself PMP, the other one label himself JLP.
And some people don't have no P at all, you know. Some people not aligned.
The people when have no P and have no J. Them the people that will make a changes. Nobody now make none. Everybody sit down.
All right.
Everybody sit down. Nobody make no step. All right. When I watch the overseas news, I see right now Mississippi. Them are tell the people them to get out of Mississippi because the whole of the river about to bust it back. I've been warning them for the longest while. But for some reason, Jamaican people listen. Nobody listen when you talk to them. Nobody, when you try to teach them things what them don't know, they say you're mad. Right? And right now, the amount of danger we're right around the corner right now, 4 hurricanes them are spot out there. I try to figure out which way them are going to go. And I want Jamaican people and tell you, prepare. September month coming, no normal. It's no normal. But me have one problem, miss.
Yes.
I want you to help me, please, miss.
Yes.
The road from Lawrence Tavern, Cuthbert, Miss Cuthbert, that's what she name is.
Mm-hmm.
She had most of the councillor, the MP, one of them.
MP, Flynn Cuthbert.
From Lawrence Tavern to Glengar. The amount of patrol in them the road there, the amount of taxi people who run from Glengar to come to Lawrence Tavern on a daily basis, the road is in a deplorable condition. The people take Mall, and they drop Mall on the road going in 3 months now since Mall drop on the road. And nobody can go there to go patch out the patrol or fix the road. Nobody. So man, I'm wondering why you drop the Mall on the road. Lessen the road, meaning make the road smaller then, because the Mall drop there. And nobody go, put the Mall in the road and fix with them to fix. It is a deplorable condition. I just come from up there and my goodness grace. The amount of patrol where taxi them have to drop down here. Container get hurt. This I get hurt. And nobody care. What we have to go do? Block the road first? That's what we have to do to get some help?
Or whatever else it takes. I think that's where we are.
Why is that? Why does it have to be like that in Jamaica? Why? That's what I'm saying. Why PMP and Labour right can't get together and do what they have to do to help the citizens of this country? Why is it always against the citizen? Everything is about them, the politician, but not the citizen. And it's the citizen who make them in the position where they are.
But you know, at one time or another in the life of most countries, it is exactly like that. America started her journey like that. Taxation without representation. Burn up ship.
And that's killing the people. So what they using their tax money and do? Build bomb, build nuclear weapon, build warplane, build this, build that. This is try them own people.
So it comes to that at every so often in the cycle of society or civilization. It comes to that.
It's heartbroken, it's painful, it's not right. September now, all of these teachers will leave in Jamaica to get employment different ways because of the salary of Jamaica, because Jamaica government don't intend to give these people a livable wage. They don't intend to do that. So all these schools now are about to open September. So when they go there now and they can't get no teacher for teach it to them, what got? What's going to take place in the education system of Jamaica?
The parents going to have to figure it out. The same parents.
The parents have to figure it out. Yes. That's the problem right there.
Yes.
That is the problem, because they amount of money. When these parents, your people are complaining about pay how much money for school fee, how much money for this, how much money for that. So all these money when them are pay, why the teacher can't get a good salary so they don't need to leave the island? Why they can't get it? Why nobody? Who responds? What his man name? Dalvin in Valentine. When name? Valentine.
Granville,
We're responsible
Valentine.
to represent the people and for the labor. Why nobody know represent the teacher them to get a good salary?
Teachers have their union, you know, but
But we're back at the same thing.
Back at the same
of
thing.
asking for something from a government that don't respond favorably. So it bring you back to the same place of demanding accountability from the people who you set in charge of the public purse.
So what we must do? Anyway, we have something to talk about.
Tell me.
It's very important.
Yes.
Friday night, Saturday night, I was up by Glendale. And there is a MP, I don't know if I junked him drunk or what, but he's driving the vehicle through Freetown Square, one paralyzed guy sitting in a wheelchair, and had moved. And the man passed and don't even stop, you know. Him just passed, you may even stop and slow down for something nearly happened. Why my goodness graceful Father. People want to drive safe on the public road. Can't take disadvantage of the citizens them in our country. Want to take care of yourself and be good.
All right then. You said that somebody was driving past.
Yes.
Seemed like he was drunk. Somebody paralyzed in a chair and him almost hit over the gentleman. I never ever stopped to see if anything had happened.
Okay, so nothing actually happened, just a near miss.
A near miss.
Yeah.
But it goes to the point. This morning when I was coming down, traffic going smoothly along, and I'm saying the light just turned green. I guess guess who was impatient with me? No emergency, the police. So I said to myself, if I saw you behave, what you expect the taxi man to do? Yeah, man, it's just been a breakdown across the board in terms of our civility and our decency.
But they're all symptoms of the one problem.
Yes.
Everything you see stems from our business and our citizens having selected and put in charge of our affairs persons who don't have the requisite heart of righteousness. But guess what? They come from us, which mean to say we don't have the requisite heart of righteousness and love.
So
and that's the change. It always points back at us. I cannot exempt myself or exclude myself from it. And I know that my repentance is not sufficient. So what if my family and myself are saved? I remember somebody saying, you're going to end up with just Noah and 8 people in an ark. 8 people in an ark and some animals. That's not desirable.
Not desirable. That's not the God's will for us anyway. That everybody turn and repent, change their heart in regards to what they are doing and what needs to happen. We say you're not going to talk about racial politics in Jamaica. That's why you're reading it very intently.
No, I was at an event on. When did we go to the book signing? Miss Patricia Chin of VP Records has written a book.
Yes.
I did not realize the lady is 85 years old and kicking. Such a tremendous powerhouse of a woman.
She's 85 and she never
85 years old. She not look it. She walk up and down. She write her book. She was doing a book signing at the regional headquarters of the University of the West Indies. Also, a poster exhibition was installed it's in the lobby of the regional headquarters. You have to go by there first to check out your alma mater, see what they're doing up there. The posters are of, I guess, iconic music, or not just music, iconic Jamaican personalities. Miss Cooper herself was one of them, and she spoke. She's a former director of the Institute of Caribbean Studies.
Gender Studies?
Caribbean Studies. Mostly dealing with culture. In the middle of, so it's like a reception type event, and persons are chatting and, a bit of mingling and socializing. And Miss Cooper walked through the room to come to a group of persons. I was close enough to the group to feel included, to tell the people to shush. In this day and age,
Shush? It means shut up?
Yes, to stop talking because someone was at the podium speaking. I thought to myself, not even in church, where you should feel some risk of reprisal for irreverent behavior. Should anybody be walking around telling people to shush?
And then, shh, we're trying to hear. Isn't that what she was doing?
No, she get up, walk from the front, come around to the back of the room where Miss Pat was at the back and the book signing, things were happening there, and people were not listening to no speech.
Uh-oh.
To say shush to the people, I'm wondering, who is this white-haired lady
and
walking
did you discover
through?
Who she was?
And then afterwards, because I haven't seen her in a long time. And I thought to myself, the mindset of a person who feel that you can get up and tell adults to stop speaking and listen. Something wrong with that. That's right up there with Mr. Samuda and his outrageous dismissal of the people's complaints.
So
because there is freedom of expression.
I know there's freedom of expression, but in terms of...
and you have to trust people to know how to behave in certain settings.
You think so?
And you have to, because you are going to become a bully.
Oh, you call it a bully?
If you are going around trying to police adults in their
behavior. You allow the person to speak? Good morning, caller. Welcome. How are you today?
Morning, November. Wagwan.
Good morning, African.
Good to be here, you know. It's good to be here.
And
I'm glad you're feeling that way this morning.
Yeah. I'm like, I get a first female caller this morning.
Yes.
So I never really hear a female caller call for the first.
Well, she was on point. She had things to say and she was not going to wait.
Give thanks to her, you know?
I give thanks for her too. She's a breath of fresh air in how she expresses herself.
Yes, sir. Miss Minute.
Yes, my brother.
Reverend.
Yes, sir.
I want to defend the African people then.
We have to defend ourselves.
When are we going to start, Miss Minute?
Well, I've started. I have started. But you know, for me, it's not even whether you're African, Bajan, Chinese. Injustice is something that don't sit well with me, no matter who's the victim.
The injustice that's going on.
So I can't be quiet about it, regardless of where it's coming from, how powerful the forces may be that are aligned against us. All of us have to die for something.
The Asian, them are right in Jamaica, you know. And the European, them are right too.
Well,
the African, them not.
Well, let me tell you something, African. 95% of the Jamaicans are black people who call Africa their point of origin. And if we are in the majority, it is an unnatural thing for the people in the majority to be the footstool. It don't even make sense. So it would seem to me that we have to be the ones who pull ourselves out of this position. We can't expect the minority to save the majority. And we certainly should not accept the minority oppressing the majority.
So why we vote for the minority?
Well, I mean, you ask a question. I know I never vote for them. Possibly neither did you. But not voting for them is obviously not enough. You see what we're doing here now? We have to teach and teach and teach because persons are making choices through a very small window of opportunity. They don't even recognize that beyond that window there's a whole world that is affected by the choice that you make in that little window of time.
We are depending on these people to act. Just a little act. Just a little act good. Just a little good act.
Yeah, well, they have disappointed us time and time again. And while we are people of faith, it don't mean that you keep chasing the same foolishness again. You got to be sensible in the exercise of your faith.
60 years now we have got through these people. Even more than 60 years. From 1944 and they are probably. And them one PNP and GLP to come together now to deal with crime. One to deal with the land.
Well, the man is calling a family meeting. We can't stop him from calling a family meeting. They are his people.
Well, we call for the meeting for the land.
We need to have a old meeting.
Miss Minute, then we need a position in the house. Just a new parliament building, whatever bill. And Miss Minute?
Yes.
Yeah, we're hearing.
Me I hope so the PNP and the GLP and said no foot in there now.
Well, it is biblically promised that you will inherit houses and vineyards that you never build or plant. So let them build. But it's up to us to ensure that the right people occupy that house. It's up to us.
We have to make sure say the PNP and the GLP go in at that house there, When them done build it, Me not tell them so them not build it,
No, because it has to be built. We need palaces and buildings that are appropriate to our dignity and our identity. It have to be built. I'm not one of those who feel our business should be carried out at the side of the road under some palm tree or in a hut. We need places that befit our stature and that will live up to our identity.
You see the building with them, when them garden house, for them head of state, You know what they do with a garden?
They hanged him. They hanged him.
Yeah. And them in a garden house. I carry on now. The man them so them go through slavery in Canada. And the man said, then I get US. The slavery are not there if I get US.
We still we want people, and life is so hard that some of us voluntarily go into it. But that's not anything new, Putting yourself voluntarily into slavery is ancient. But we need to be doing better.
The Jamaica dollar.
151.26.
The people them don't have work for 7,000, 6,000, and 9,000 a week. And the light I take away. The water I take away. The land I take away.
Well, yeah, property taxes right up there now with light bill.
I know nobody address these things. The tax on the food, them see so the people then can't buy the food and then take off the tax. Everything I go and see, Miss Minette.
Well, African, we come back to the same place. We have to do it for ourselves. Well, one thing I know for sure, if two people going to show up, you're going to be Minette and African. We are recruiting some more.
How we have a farmer organization to defend the African community? What the organization they going to name?
Let us step out first. We don't even need to give no name to anything. People need to start speaking up, speaking out, step out wherever you are. Let it be known that this is how you feel about it. You reject it. You're not for it. Anybody who try to come and get you to participate in anything that is a lie, refuse it. Absolutely refuse it. Live to your conscience. Live the principles of truth. You start with that. The name will come. What happened, is that I think we're trying to plan something that really can't be planned.
It has to be organic.
It has to come out of the belly of the people. Yes.
This word, a name hardship. Hardship, Miss Minette, we are going to around here, And so some people get one little house and one little place and you can't plant a food around the house. So they come over to the government and say you have to throw you out right now. Because you don't have no food there now.
Yeah, you won't be able to pay for it or keep it.
Then if you can't plant food, plant something to sell, what you have, Miss Minetti?
Well,
the law between land and man. How would the law go, Miss Minetti?
There's a relationship between the man and the land, because out of the land, that is how the man produce and become strong and grow strong economically and can feed his family. And if there's no relationship, it is taken away, then you know that you put the man in a position that him can feed himself, can help himself, can grow economically. So you put him in a box. And that was not the intention from the beginning. So you're correct in that. Yes.
After we slave for Jamaica for 500 years, our ancestor, and then dead over and over and over, and slave over and over and over. I don't want to tell me, so now we, after the owners, so now are living a squalor.
But you understand, African, that you have to start by rejecting it. Yeah, I mean, wherever you are in your journey and how you are expressing yourself, after you reject it in the mind, then your hands and your heart and your foot have to follow. Too many of us are just stuck at the mental part of it.
You know how long I reject these people? Eh?
So then stage
and I can't see
if we move to stage
the people them come together and reject them too. Refuse them. When the politician come and the community is hungry when election time,
African,
who them come look for?
Everybody have to do what they can. If what you're doing is talking about it, then say it to as many people as possible. Somebody will pick up the cry. Anyway, I have another call that I have to take, and we're kind of repeating ourselves now.
Miss Murphy, good to be here, yeah?
All right, my brother.
And it's good to repeat,
Yes, yeah, but another caller is waiting.
Yes, Miss Murphy, good to be here, yeah?
Yes. Good morning and welcome to the Morning Connection.
Good morning.
Good morning.
It's me again.
Yes.
When did we get here that our dollar is so low against the US? I mean, high.
It's low. 151 to 26 Friday.
How did we get? How did it? Was it deliberately planned?
That question is too big for the little time we have on this program. So tell me what your thoughts are.
Yes, you
all right. Even when the dollar was even when our dollar were higher than the US, people were still running away to the US.
Yes. It is the migration has many there are many factors, many motivating factors.
I remember those days.
Economic.
I remember those days. It was the poorest, povertiest days in Jamaica. Anybody my age don't remember that? They used to live high and rich. The 60s that I know of, as a matter of fact, I remember 50s. Because I was born in 57. And I remember things from in the 50s. And those were the povertiest and poorest time in Jamaica.
But you're drawing attention to the fact that wealth in a country comes from increased productivity of a quality and at a level that keeps pace with the cost of what you're spending on your infrastructure, what you're spending on imports, and so on. So from the 60s, when we had very poor infrastructure, there was poverty, low development in various places, and the wealth, with the high-value dollar, the wealth was concentrated in the hands of a few.
Just like now.
That has not changed. So, that hasn't changed. In fact, what has changed? Yeah, what has changed is that we have spent more and more on infrastructure development, and the productive capacity has not increased to the level that we can pay for the money, the things we're borrowing.
Productivity as a nation hasn't improved because we've not spent the money in the people.
In fact, in real terms, it has fallen.
Yeah, yes, that's what has happened.
All right, we have to take the break, Cruz. It's 9:30. Are you good with the point you've made? Because you've...
Yeah, man, I'm good. Me no wait. Me no like when people talk and then no make them wait. So me no wait.
All right, then.
Thank you.
A difference you can hear. A difference you can feel.
Best FM. Keep listening.
We're committed to reducing the impact of disasters occurring in Jamaica. Hurricanes can happen, so be prepared.
Half a tree, one and drive, half a tree. Bossy, away I do I take taxi star?
Jano, I want to tell you, say, 2 months now, my transmission mash up, and me check everybody and can't hear nothing positive.
Yeah, hear me? Yeah, waste all that time I shop around and never call the experts. Winters Auto have them. Them have over 35 years of experience and them diagnose the problem and get back your transmission brand new. For them service excellent and efficient. Trust me, man. Yeah, hear me? Call them at 929-7040 or go to them at 106 Maxfield Avenue, Kingston 13 and talk directly to the boss. Just tell them I'm me send you.
Wow, you big star. Yeah, man, respect my boss.
I try calling her, cause trust me.
Winters Auto Spares and Repairs, good afternoon.
What a relief.
Veteran Printers for all your printing needs. We specialize in calendars, flyers, brochures, and more. Call us today at 968-7506. That's 968-7506. Or visit us at 4 East Bloomsbury Road, off Haggard Park Road. Veteran Printers, your best choice in printing.
Looking to clean your vehicle super clean? 123 Clean Car Wash, located at 2 1/4 Osborne Road, Kingston 10. Entrance on Grove Road, below Tropical Battery. They wash and vacuum, undercarriage wash, engine wash, polish and compound, shampoo and detailing. Call them at 876-631-3400. 123 Clean Car Wash, the best in the business for a cleaner wash.
1, 2, 3, believe me, it's so easy. 1, 2, 3.
Best 100 FM is the authentic voice of Jamaica, promoting your prosperity with better vibes and better music. Let us promote your goods and services for you. Advertise with us. For more information, call our office at 876-276-8935. That's 276-8935.
The Morning Connection is not your usual talk show. We aim to stimulate discussion and chart new paths to self-empowerment. So please join us, Minette and Percy, on The Morning Connection, Mondays to Thursdays, 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. on Best 100 FM.
It's good, it's better, but nothing beats.
Good morning. Welcome back to the Morning Connection. How are you this morning, caller? What's on your mind?
Fine.
Good.
Good morning.
Morning. How are you, Empress?
Very well, thank you, brother.
Okay. First of all, it's Empress. That ad with the transition ad. Oh, him as he make the call, him feel really. I don't know, ask woman if he have the partner, he will look for. And she say yes.
I'm glad you're entertained by the advertisements.
Anyway, and the project Empress. And the people them say away with pride. He was Barabbas and Caesar. And the people them say the same one we are bad now. So and them football back say now away with Barabbas and Caesar, give us back Christ. In Jamaica, Barabbas are the same PSOD and the Caesar are the same democracy. The people them are the same thing. Them just change the name to protect the guilty.
And you know that Christ has made it such that you don't even have to go into no big election process to say, give us back Christ. That's what we're talking about.
Exactly.
You can make your own altar call right there anywhere you are. You don't have to go through no elaborate public process. You can privately say, you know what, Christ? I'll give you a chance now.
Yeah, look internally, not externally. Look internally.
Absolutely.
For the Christ in you.
Absolutely. And through his renewing of your mind, you will find within yourself the resources and the vision to make the decisions and take the actions that will get us out of this mess. It's what I do.
There you go. Can you see them now, Empress? If you have two glasses, and one full and one empty, and you turn down the two of them, only the one who fool something will come out, you know.
There you go.
True.
So you can't expect for something to come out as something with nothing in that.
Yeah.
That's so true.
Flogging a dead horse.
A monopoly, them a play with people's lives. A monopoly, the game of monopoly. They don't see the people them as people. You know. They are just numbers. That's why them a come with the names. They are just numbers.
Yeah, and
so
but
when
you
you come with the
see,
names, you know, them can more go on the computer and manage you more efficiently.
they don't even have to look at us. But I'm telling you, that's why I keep emphasizing we cannot be spectators in the game that is determining our future. We cannot stand back and be observers and commentators and anything you need to do. If it's a stone you have, take it up. If it's a leaf you have, move with it. Whatever you have. But you see, when you make that altar call in your own spirit and come to recognize where your salvation lies and what you need to do to secure the freedom that we are entitled to, you won't be confused about what you can do. I am not confused about what I can do. The problem that I have is I know that unless my brother and sister achieve the same clarity,
come along with me,
it will not work. I don't want to be the richest person in my family. Never wanted to be that. If I'm eating lobster, everybody needs to eat lobster too, unless they're allergic.
Not even that, Empress. We should have one food out or one central all we eat. You know, matter your doctor. We eat out of one kitchen.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But you know,
one kitchen. That means you know who poor from who poor.
Yes.
Whatever is serving in the canteen and the food house, I eat that
what
for
we're
all.
eating. Absolutely. That way, you'll have that push towards excellence now, because if you decide that you want it at a certain level, it means everybody going to have it at that level.
Yeah, but another thing.
If it's bad, are we bad? Do it bad, make it bad, and if it's good, are we make it good?
Right.
So there's power in the collective, and to my mind, there's a shift in terms of the mindset you have, which is a mindset of abundance versus a scarcity one, which says that there's not enough to go around, but if you start with where God begins, which is an abundance mindset, there's more than enough, then we can all work together, because Father said enough for everybody.
There you go.
I had a beautiful experience yesterday. I got to give shout out to my girl, Susie. My neighbor, I've lived in that community for 20 years. Yesterday, for the first time, my neighbor sent me a banana bread freshly baked. Beyond our just celebrating the fact that we've been neighbors in a community she's lived there 30 years. We've lived there 20. And yesterday, the first time, she had said it to me. Now, she said, we've been living. And I said, I wonder if Miss Minette like banana bread. I said, the next time you bake, please.
So am I one day.
Not one crumb will you get. It was too delicious. We can't share the first one.
So she not used to me talk about this. Me talk about my friend.
The first one is a tester. But I did bring you some busy. I did bring you some busy. Pure and fresh from the country.
My friend.
All right, that's it.
Yes.
All right, give thanks.
All right then, my friend.
You're good? All right, take care. Good morning. Welcome to the Morning Connection.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, mate. How are you?
I'm giving thanks. The word Lord. What does the word Lord mean? You know, Pastor, what the word Lord mean?
Lord?
Yeah.
Overseer? Why you say that?
Overseer.
Mm-hmm.
Did you say law or Lord?
Lord.
L-O-R-D.
L-O-R-D. Lord.
Yes, my Lord.
Yeah, I just feel to ask, what it mean, what the word mean.
Mm-hmm.
When somebody said mean landowner.
In some context it is.
Because so you are overseeing land.
Yeah.
But it's a title of authority conferred on someone who has both the competence and the authority to oversee.
All right. Because I'm going to look it up in a dictionary too. Yesterday or the day before yesterday, I'm going to look it up on the internet too. Mm-hmm. And that's the view we get from it, Mm-hmm. One in authority. Mm-hmm.
The title of authority.
Position. Yeah, in our higher position, and the next one they may call them Lord.
So I love it that in your faith, I hear the Rasta men always saying, my Lord. They refer to each other. They greet you. Yes, my Lord.
Yeah, as
honor.
Honor.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, honor.
Yes.
Yeah.
And there, and in that sense, what I love about it is that they may not know you to be in possession of any material wealth, but they know that you are created with wealth and value in your own being.
Yeah.
And so anything you take on, you have that capacity and that natural authority to oversee it.
Yeah, no.
Part of the dominion mandate, yeah.
No matter what position you're in,
yeah.
You're honorable, you know?
You're an honorable person. And you know...
Go ahead, Wayne.
Yeah.
No, may I hear your part, sir?
No, I'm saying, you see, when you do that, like what Russ said, my Lord, you are saying, I recognize that you are created in the image and likeness of the Father. There's something in you. We call it Imago Deo, created in the image of God. And so therefore I honor you. And that is something we have lost, one for each other. That is why I can look at my brother and shoot him. Because I figure you're not representing anything. You're not worth anything. But you're saying you're a person of worth.
There's also the recognition of equality.
Yeah.
Because when I face you and I see you as my equal in authority, in value, in strength, I'm not going to be disrespectful to you because I know that I wouldn't want you to treat me in that way.
Right.
So when my Lord say to my Lord, sit thou at my right hand. I'm quoting scripture here.
In the Psalms, referring to Jesus.
All right, bless and thanks.
All right, then we.
Yeah. Those are just some fundamental lessons that we gotta cover. Good morning and welcome to the Morning Connection.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning,
welcome.
brother. My Lord.
My Lord, how are you today?
I'm good, I'm good. Good morning to your listeners and your caller. I'm going to pick up the magic cup today.
Yes.
And I'm going to leave it at the station this afternoon.
So Lady Love can come for hers.
Yes, so she can pick it up tomorrow.
All right, we'll take a picture of the delivery.
Yeah, but I just want to deliver this message to your valuable listeners and your callers.
Yes, sir.
On Friday was the most important federal meeting in America. Most important meeting that they have in the history of the American Federal Reserve.
I mean with Powell?
And
Mr. Powell.
Mr. Powell told the world that pain is coming. That is his own word. Pain is coming.
Yes, sir.
And we saw where 1,000 points was shaved off from the precious stock market.
Yeah.
Lot of business is going to get hurt. And in say a lot of households going to get hurt because businesses will have to lay off people. So it's a lot of pain coming because they have to fight this inflation. And you know what they are protecting? The interest of the 1%. They're using D.K. Duncan's son, who is a pristine capitalist, and his father, D.K. Duncan, was a member of the PNP. So the PFLJ are using him now because his father was a PNP to come and try to tame these two incompetent political party that don't know them head from them tail. All them know for do trick up people. Because you see when America raise back in interest rate again, and a lot of the foreign investment tumble overseas,
yes.
Where do you think they're going to come to try and make up for those losses? On the backs of the Jamaican people, using another puppet down by the Bank of Jamaica to manipulate the debt and put more burden on the Jamaican children, and then the Jamaican children, because they are so disunited, and their households are so torn apart, caught up in all sorts of corruption and disunity. We have to take it out from one another. Miss Minette. I hear you say something a while ago to African, you know. You have to defend yourself.
Have to.
Well, you hear me, I defend myself now. Nobody can use me again, you know. Not even the mother who birthed me out of her womb, the Jubilee, can use me again in this country. And look here. You see my money when me have in them bank? Them can't spend my money better than me, you know, in this time.
Yep.
You want me money out of them bank?
Well, I'm sure since you've been saying it, you have already removed it.
How we there? I realize Mr. Biles don't know them head for in tail. All them a do a follow. And I collect 40 million. 40 million a year plus him big pension from Sagicor. How them love money, sir?
Well,
so
what you said the man say? Pain is coming?
Yeah, man.
Pain is coming, and it's pain for
Mr.
everyone.
Powell say in his own words to tell the world that pain is coming.
For some of us, pain was always here.
Right. But
look here, you know that pain is worse than death.
I know, it is cheaper to kill.
And when you're dead, you're not feeling pain.
That's true. But Neville, let me ask you a question. So pain is coming. What are your suggestions in terms of how we deal with it?
What's the pain?
Listen, if you're going to take a high level of partnership,
yes,
every man has to form what is known as his inner circle.
Yes.
Good families, good friends.
Yes, sir.
Good customers.
Yes, sir.
And you help who help you.
Yes.
And you make sure say your word
is your bond.
And your action. Your word must match your action.
True.
Yeah, integrity.
If your word can't match your action, don't sit at my table.
Okay.
And look here, you see the teachers migrating.
Yes.
I have friends in it, you see. And most of them live in singles life. Hey, you know that 50% of your civil servants in Jamaica get 30,000 or less a week. 30,000 a week, Pastor, in the name of Jesus. If me I get 30,000 a week, and my spouse I get 30,000 a week, we not can go and live. How to me, Miss Minute, the budget master?
Yes, that's the moment.
Yeah. So I'm in the household now. As the woman start get 30,000, she start hide from the man and hide her money from the man. And the man I get him 30,000. Him no want give the woman no tight, and he told them to play hide and seek in the house there.
So you're calling for real partnership and collaboration, and you're talking for strong family life.
Yes, you're going to need partnership. Just like the PSOJ, what they call in PSOJ, is a group of cartel, you know.
Yep.
They are large members and they control parliament, and there's a cartel of them coming together to protect their investment. Well, where is the black economy? The black people is the only people in Jamaica from Nickel Point to Moran Point since slavery was abolished that do have an economy. And I can explain that to you tomorrow.
All right, my brother.
And all the politicians, them are going to apply to communities and secure their pension. Right now, Andrew Wallace is in Trinidad dancing carnival.
Okay.
Yes, sir. In Ghana for Trinidad 60th anniversary.
Okay.
That's carnival in costume.
Okay.
While the Jamaican people out here are struggling with back to school blues.
All right, please get a picture for us.
All right.
So I'm going to deliver the Magic Cup this afternoon at Best FM. And you'll have it in your cabinet tomorrow.
Okay,
all right,
then.
sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
All right, best to you, and keep your show and keep your program on the road.
All right, sir. We hear you.
Doing our best with it. Thank you. All right, let's say our goodbyes. Thank you to those who have been chatting with us online and those who have been listening on air and calling in. Thank you for sharing with us. We have some difficult matters that we have to push through because this is, well, the word pain is an understatement. Really.
And we will overcome.
But we have to. We're fighting victory.
We will overcome.
Bless you all. Have a wonderful day. We'll see you tomorrow.